الرحمن الرحيم آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون كل آمن بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله وقالوا سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسبت ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين صدق الله العظيم وبلغنا رسوله النبي الكريم الأمين.
MashaAllah, that was Hafiz Sayyid Ahmed from London reciting beautifully some verses of the Holy Quran. And next, as is customary, I would like to invite for Nasheed and Naat for the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Brother Minhaj-ul-Quran, to recite a few couplets.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'd like to request all my brothers and sisters to recite greetings and salutations upon the best of creation, our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina wa maulana Muhammadin. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina wa maulana Muhammadin. Muhammadin. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina wa maulana Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa barik wa sallim. Allah.
Yeah, just make sure I don't forget. You're gonna come so you're gonna walk down here and over the wires. You end up over there. Alright? So you're gonna get ready to cut them in. Huh? Yeah, ठीक है, connected. Do you want to put a flash on? No, that's fine. That's fine. No, I'm going to stay here. That's it. If I go forward or back. Have you got tracking on? No, you can't do it on live. This is live stream. You can't do it. That's fine. I've got it. Look. Is that how you move it up and down? No, it basically just balances. Look. That's fine. Now, yeah.
وسلم. اللهم صل على ومولانا محمد. اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
That was Minhaj-ul-Quran, who you will hear later on, inshallah, at our spiritual nasheed session this evening at 9 o'clock, along with some other great nasheed performers. On behalf of Minhaj-ul-Quran International, on behalf of the Al-Hidayah team, and with your permission, Your Eminent Shaykh-ul-Islam, I want to welcome you all to this great event, Al-Hidayah 2017. MashaAllah. We finally made it. And I'm sure you're all extremely excited to be here, as I am. And I also want to welcome some of our eminent guests that we have today with us, particularly Naz Shah, MP, and we also have Muhammad Shafiq from the Ramadan Foundation. We want to welcome you. We also have councillors or ex-councillors and ex-Lord Mayors here from Stoke-on-Trent, and various other dignitaries and scholars from different organisations, imams. But of course, very importantly, we have an audience of mainly young people, I would say mostly female. I think there is the sisters have beaten the brothers again, mashallah, in terms of attendance, which is very pleasing to see. We all know that this has been organized, this 3-day camp has been organized in the light of, or in the wake of, some serious and tragic events that have happened across the globe, but also particularly in the United Kingdom and Europe, attacks by terrorists, by extremists, violent extremists, and these attacks will probably continue. And so this is a big duty on our part, as a responsibility. As a grassroots organization, Minhaj-ul-Quran has organized this as a means to counter the narrative of the extremists and to equip our younger people, our leaders, our imams, our teachers who are here with the knowledge, with the skills, and with the confidence to battle and struggle against this scourge of our time. And inshallah, Shaykh-ul-Islam, who will be teaching us directly today, who needs no introduction, you'll definitely benefit from his instruction as well as his company, his sohbah, and his closeness, inshallah. In addition to the lectures, we will have many workshops. You'll have details in your forms, in your packs that you have. But first of all, I just want to say that we have a hashtag, Jihad Against Jihadis, because this is a jihad, an intellectual jihad, a spiritual jihad, a jihad against those who wish to tear our communities apart, who seek to cause division within our society. And I would urge you all, in your social media, in your tweets, to use this hashtag as much as you can. You can take pictures, and let's make this, inshallah, go viral. Jihad against jihadis. I also want to just say that we've had messages of support
Say jihad against fasadis.
Jihad against fasadis.
Yes. Instead of saying jihad against jihadis, it can create some misunderstanding. Yes. You can change it. Jihad against fasadis. Yes.
So, inshallah, it's changed to jihad against fasadis from now on. And this isn't a deliberate link here, actually. We just want to say that we've had messages of support from the government. They were invited today to today's conference, but they weren't able to send a representative. However, Lord Bourne, Minister for Faith and Community, sent his apologies for not being able to attend the conference. But he did send a strong message of support for today's initiative. You can read there a message of support from Jeremy Corbyn, the leader of the opposition. So I just have a few boring slides before I begin proceedings, before I begin to invite our guests. So for emergencies, there are some telephone numbers there for brothers and sisters. And if you need any medical assistance, we have two doctors, well, a few doctors, but two allocated doctors on site, Dr. Khalid Mahmood and Dr. Nadia Rafiq. Security, we do take security very seriously. All attendees are requested to use the back doors to the lecture theatre for entry and exit. Please do not use the doors at the front. Look after your belongings and report any suspicious baggage or packages to the organisers. Just general housekeeping. Please keep your lanyards and your wristbands on you at all times. There are no fire alarms expected, so if there is a fire alarm, it's probably a genuine one. Any allergies and so on, in terms of your food allergies, please let the staff know. Live video streaming is not permitted, and there is no Wi-Fi available, so please use your own data. Please keep your everything clean, tidy, and do not cause inconvenience to others. You will all have a map. So I just want to, first of all, introduce two speakers. First of all, I want to invite Muhammad Shafiq, who is the CEO of the Ramadan Foundation, that works to highlight the voices of grassroots British Muslims. He's also been a presenter at the Ummah channel for several years, a commentator on many topical issues across the media. You would have seen him on various TV channels. As usual, you can listen to his BBC 5 Live paper review every Saturday night on the Stephen Nolan Show. But for now, let me invite him onto stage to express his feelings for today's conference. Jazakallah. Muhammad Shafiq from the Ramadan Foundation.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Your Eminence, Shaykh-ul-Islam, Dr. Muhammad Tahir-ul-Qadri Sahib, distinguished guests, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You're probably thinking, what is somebody like me doing here? It's an absolute honor for me to be speaking in presence of such a great personality who's given his whole life to the service of not just Islam, but the service of humanity. His contributions to the Islamic world are self-evident in the work that he has done, and his ambition, and the ambition of Minhaj-ul-Quran, is to help divert the attention of Muslims away from violence and extremism onto the real essence of our faith, Islam, which is one of tolerance, respect, and the service of humanity. I also want to, first of all, just say how disappointed I am that we don't see any major political representative from Her Majesty's government here at this conference. If there's anybody who's led the campaign against terrorism on the international stage, it's this great personality. If there is, and just for the record, I speak as somebody who is not a member of Minhaj-ul-Quran, but is an admirer of the work of Qibla Shaykh-ul-Islam, and through my blessed Sheikh, Khwaja Zinda Pir Sahib of Gamgol Sharif, who had a lot of love for the Honourable Sheikh. So it's disappointing that we don't see any representative from Her Majesty's government here today. One of the criticisms the government made was that Muslims weren't doing enough against terrorism. Well, when we do something like this amazing summit, ministers are nowhere to be seen. And the lack of support from the media as well. Where are the mainstream media? I love Pakistan media, you're absolutely fantastic, but wouldn't it be great to see the mainstream media here as well? So as well as tweeting what Shaykh-ul-Islam said, also it's important to get out there and get the message to the mainstream media that Islam is a religion of peace, of tolerance, and service of humanity. Now, on the issue of terrorism, we here in the UK have just faced some of the most surreal moments in our history. In Manchester, my home city, in London, at the Finsbury Park Mosque, we saw the worst of humanity. But we also saw the best of humanity. Whenever I'm on the media, Qibla, and the mainstream media, I'm often asked, what are Muslim scholars doing? And I always refer to your fatwa, terrorism. And through the leadership of Shaykh-ul-Islam and Minhaj-ul-Quran, Mubin Hussain is here. Mubin knows me very well and knows that every available opportunity, we take your fatwa as a guide for young Muslims in this country. Terrorism is evil. It has nothing to do with our faith. But more importantly, what is it that we can do to make a real difference? The fatwa against terrorism sets out in clear terms what the Islamic opinion and guidelines are against terrorism. And through the leadership of Shaykh-ul-Islam and Minhaj-ul-Quran, we've seen a phenomenal contribution to the debate on an intellectual basis in this country and around the world. On behalf of myself and everybody associated with my organization, I endorsed your fatwa, I endorsed your curriculum, and I endorse your leadership and your contribution. Whether it's in terms of Pakistan, if I may just say a few words on developments in Pakistan, when your supporters were brutally killed in the Model Town massacre, we led here in Manchester, personalities here from Manchester, a protest against that injustice. Why? Because it was a crime against humanity. And still the killers of that massacre are wandering the streets of Pakistan. Once again, I offer you my support in your ambition to take on and bring justice for the martyrs of Model Town massacre. And if I may say so, you were always ahead of the time. When you talked about Article 62 and 63, nobody else was talking about Article 62 and 63. Suddenly now everybody's talking about Article 62 and 63. Wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be great? And I love Imran Khan Saab and I love Tahir-ul-Qadri. Wouldn't it be great if they just offered some acknowledgement to the contribution of Shaykh-ul-Islam to make sure that people recognize that it was your leadership, it was your vision that set out in clear terms how Pakistan can be better. I just want to finish, if I may say so, about you. Many have written good things about you, but some have questioned your leadership and some have raised fingers on you and your contribution to our community. I think they're really misguided people. You, sir, have contributed so much to our ummah and to the international community. And when I talk to Arab scholars in the Middle East, and when you talk about Pakistan, the first person they mention is Dr. Tahir-ul-Qadri. He's not the last person, he's the first person. What does that tell you? It tells you that his leadership and his contribution is what we need in our time. And all of you here today should be congratulated. MashaAllah, it's great to see so many sisters here as well. Should be congratulated for supporting such a unique personality. And through my work on Ummah channel, when you, sir, were doing the dharna, every night we were broadcasting for 6-7 hours, a program promoting the work that you were doing. And inshallah, for as long as I'm active in the media, I'll continue to support you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you. May Allah give you a long life. And may we continue to benefit from your hard work. Assalamu alaikum.
MashaAllah. That was Muhammad Shafiq from the Ramadan Foundation. thank him for his very supportive and appreciative words. Before I invite our final guest speaker, I just want to make another announcement. We have close to 500 people here today, mashallah. We could have had many, many more. In fact, we could have had literally thousands, and we have a track record. Minhaj-ul-Quran, previous Al-Hidayahs, we've had 1,500 people, 12,000 people in the Peaceful Humanity Conference. But we decided to keep this particular event more intensive, a bit much smaller, because we have a very, very packed program. So not only do we have lectures from His Eminence Shaykh-ul-Islam on the issue of extremism and countering it, we have a great many workshops, because what we want to achieve out of this is young brothers and sisters and our community leaders here to go out into the communities, to go out to your schools, to go out to your universities, wherever you are, in whatever walk of life you have, to make a difference, to become role models. And we, inshallah, through the workshops we will give you that confidence. We will give you leadership skills to achieve those aims. And so I'm just going to announce that, just to remind you, apart from the other workshops, we also have a workshop, a sisters-only session entitled A Muslim Woman's Balancing Act, the Home and Family, Work and Study, Deen and Dunya, it's going to be presented by Dr. Tahir-ul-Qadri at the Westminster Hall. And this is for sisters only. And if you have questions, please hand them in to Khadija Atkinson or Sister Tahira Afzal before when? Before Maghrib. Jazakallah. And just while that sisters session is going on, building the modern Muslim man panel discussion for all brothers with some special panelists. Again, we have issues here. We have the grooming gangs issue that we need to tackle. And that will be one of the subjects that we will tackle here in this workshop. And we have workshops on leadership. We have workshops on counter-extremism. We have workshops on political engagement. We have workshops on confidence building, on mental well-being. So we will want to equip you guys, you brothers and sisters, with all the tools and the confidence necessary to achieve your aims, inshallah. I just want to now, our final guest speaker, before I invite His Eminence Shaykh-ul-Islam to address us today, Naz Shah MP. She is a Member of Parliament for Bradford and has been since 2015. During her time in Parliament, she's been twice selected on the Home Affairs Select Committee. Whilst on the Home Affairs Select Committee, she has scrutinised work on a number of different subject areas, including looking into the counter-terrorism inquiry. She's also Vice Chair of both the All-Party Parliamentary Group on Integration and the All-Party Parliamentary Group on British Muslims. I want to invite Naz Shah to come and speak to us for a short while. Jazakallah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Shaykh-ul-Islam, Dr. Tahir-ul-Qadri, esteemed guest, my fellow British Muslims, and especially those young people that have travelled from across the UK and indeed abroad to join this conference today. Assalamu alaikum. Before I start the main body of my speech, I'd just like to extend a huge thank you to the organisers for inviting me here, giving me this opportunity to address you all and speak to you. And in particular, the young British Muslim who inspires me, Mubin Hussain, because he asked me to come here, and he's been a great support to me individually, certainly in the last few weeks. Today, I don't want to speak to you initially as a Member of Parliament, but as an ordinary British Muslim, like all of you here today. So let me start by this very frank and open discussion. Ever since the attacks such as 9/11 and 7/7, and many others across the world, there has been a perception, whether it's on the mainstream media, conversations at work, or even amongst your fellow peers, about the links between terrorism and Islamic faith. This has had an astounding effect on us all. At times, a tiny minority has placed 1.8 billion Muslims from across the globe liable for the evil crimes of a small minority. Muslims as the enemy within, Baroness Warsi has eloquently articulated in her recent publication. And yes, it's very subtle. Thankfully, the majority of people in Britain have been able to distinguish from a few criminals that propagate a perverted ideology for their evil aims from ordinary, law-abiding, charity-giving, peaceful British Muslims. However, within this polarised debate, a minority of our young have been left vulnerable and confused, and the majority with a burden to tackle this evil, because a few evil demagogues that have no sense of humanity and are ready to take the lives of our young, as we saw just a few months ago in Manchester. But my fellow Muslims, this burden does lie upon us, not because it has wrongfully been placed upon us at times from the media and those on the far right. And trust me, if my last week is anything to go by, I understand how tabloids can attack you when you speak for Muslims and against bigotry. Nevertheless, this burden is upon us for two primary reasons. Firstly, as politicians, civil and faith leaders, those of Muslims and non, we cannot just sit silently and just watch innocent lives being lost on our streets. I remember watching the news after Manchester of mothers. I'm a mother. I remember looking at that particular concert, whether I would be able to take my daughter, but it was a school day the next day. I wasn't there, but I know many Muslims who were, and I saw the tears of those mothers who lost their children. I cannot begin to imagine what it would be like to lose a child. So this is why mothers, fathers, and my fellow Britons, we cannot just allow this to idly go by. One life lost is one too many, and we all have a duty to act. Secondly, these sick, evil people not only have no humanity, but they also have the audacity to commit their evil in the name of our great faith. The faith that says to kill one innocent life is like killing the whole of humanity. The faith that came to us through the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. That prophet that came to a society which was burying women alive and left a society where women were able to question the leadership of the time. That prophet who, even in the face of great persecution in Mecca, didn't allow a single follower to raise arms with his message of peace. That prophet that entered Medina and declared one of the world's first constitutions that will protect all citizens, Muslims and non, under the law of a nation. That prophet that when he returned to his home city where he had endured huge persecution, even with a convoy of thousands and in the face of the perpetrators, he didn't choose revenge, but instead the message of peace. And now we have this small minority that wants to denigrate the whole message of our prophet and our faith. These are the enemies of Islam, and we must muster ourselves together with this burden and not allow them to hijack the faith of Islam that you, me, and over 1 billion people worldwide around Muslims follow. This is why I am so proud to be here today, with hundreds of British Muslims, and particularly really heartening to see so many sisters here. Usually it's the other way around, there's usually more men, so I thank you for that. So I'm really proud for this 3-day camp. I'm also very disheartened. I echo the words of my brother Shafiq, that there's no media, mainstream media. Whilst I thank the Asian media for being here, it's a shame because when one Muslim does something wrong, you'd be amazed at how the media onslaught starts. But yet, there's more than 400 or 500 of you here, really, really engaging and changing the face of British politics, British Islam, and the perception of Britain and Muslims, and yet there's no mainstream media and no government. So I'm really pleased and proud to echo the endorsement of my leader, the leader of the Labour Party today, in showing my full support for this conference and for organisations like Minhaj-ul-Quran that undertake this work. This conference is absolutely a show of solidarity and shows how organic British Muslims, without the funding or support from any institutions, are taking this work and tackling extremism and terrorism, because they are taking it upon early this year in our conversation about some of the ideological issues that have affected the perception of Islam. I also remember in that meeting that with every question I asked, you gave me a book with an answer, a book that you'd authored. Also, let me remind many of the audience today here that it was you, Dr. Tahir-ul-Qadri, who in the face of huge confusion across the world launched the fatwa on terrorism and suicide bombings in 2010 and categorically debunked the myth that Islam and terrorism have a link. It was yourself that stood with the leaders from across all faiths and over 11,000 people in a peace conference in 2011, uniting people with a message of peace. It was you in 2015 who offered an entire curriculum to further dispel those myths propagated by groups such as Daesh. And today it is again your efforts that you are giving young British Muslims confidence in both their British identity and Islamic faith. There can be no claim that you have just condemned terrorism with mere slogans, as your work shows that you have been one of the strongest advocates against terrorism. For that, we are indebted. It would be inept of me not to address you as a Member of Parliament, because I'm a very proud British Member of Parliament who happens to be a Muslim, who happens to be of Pakistani origin. But let me tell you this. When we say as politicians that terrorism is a threat to our way of life, I include that way of life that all of you, in particular my sisters, have here today. In this country, in Great Britain, we can be who we choose to be, with a hijab or not. And the reality is that with every terrorist attack, there is a girl somewhere who feels not confident enough to wear her hijab for the fear of being battered, for the fear of it being ripped off her face, for the fear of being beaten in the street. That is our British life, it's our way to be able to wear that hijab loudly and proudly. The fact is that 65% less chances for you, sisters in particular, of getting a job or getting on the economic ladder because of your visibility of your Muslim faith. So when we say this is an attack on our British life, make no mistake, that includes our British life of being able to express our faith. Conference, again, it's a pleasure to be here and stand with you on this noble cause. But let me end with a message to those extremists that try to divide our communities. We, as British citizens, will not allow you to have a free rein and sit idly by as you kill innocent people on our streets. And we Muslims will not allow you to hijack the message of our faith, because, with the hashtag, as said in Leytonstone, you aren't no Muslim, bruv. Thank you. Jazakallah khair.
Thank you, Naz Shah MP for her supportive comments. We're going to have just a modification to our program because we were running slightly late. Instead of finishing at 3:30, because Shaykh-ul-Islam was due to do a 1 hour kind of summary of things for the sake of the media. Now the Shaykh-ul-Islam will actually start his lecture in earnest, and that will lead us to around 5 o'clock to finish. So that's going to start now. So at 5 o'clock will be tea and coffee, and then the workshops will be after that. Maybe quarter past 5. Yes, at 5:15 will be tea and coffee, and then after that will be the workshops. So inshallah, if there are guests here who... Yes. Yeah. It's just an impromptu change, inshallah. If there are guests who...
نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على سيدنا ومولانا محمد رسوله النبي الأمين المكين الحنين الكريم الرؤوف الرحيم. أما بعد، فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا ادخلوا في السلم كافة. صدق الله مولانا العظيم. Our respected sister, member of British Parliament, honorable brothers and sisters, all guests of honor, and my dear sons and daughters. Alhamdulillah Ta'ala, I welcome all participants of this significant camp, that is Al-Hidayah 2017, which has been organized by the Peace Education Program team and Al-Hidayah executive, headed by Dr. Zahid Iqbal and his colleagues, and supported by different forums, organizations, centers, and regional managements of Minhaj-ul-Quran International UK. And Alhamdulillah Ta'ala, this is another aspect of pleasure for me, that many of our sons and daughters, they have traveled from distant countries and they have participated in this Al-Hidayah UK 2017. And as I have been informed that the biggest delegate participating in Al-Hidayah from outside UK, probably that is from Canada. And then, of course, I can recognize from the faces, from Norway, from Denmark, from Holland, some of them from Paris, some of them from Germany, Spain. We had already splitted the Al-Hidayah camps this year into two different places. In the first week of August, I have already addressed a 3-day Al-Hidayah counter-extremism camp in Oslo, Norway, which was excellently organized by our Norway Minhaj-ul-Quran Youth League with the full support of all forums and organizations of Minhaj-ul-Quran around Europe. It was very fruitful, very beautiful, very disciplined, and remarkably successful. I again congratulate the European camp organizers and particularly the Minhaj Youth League of Norway on that camp. So that camp was attended by more than 500 youth from all over Europe. So this is how they were able to stop big delegates coming from European countries here. And this was just specified for the British youth. Since the delegates from quite a good delegate have arrived from US under the headship of Dr. Mayanas and Mubin and Mamoon and Dr. Mansoor and our sister Rifat and others. And Madiha, our daughter, heading the girls from there. So the North American delegates, they couldn't get any chance for Al-Hidayah in their part of the world. So they had to travel and participate in Al-Hidayah arranged by the British youth here. So I welcome all delegates who have come from the different parts of the Western world in order to, as seekers, learners, in order to understand the narrative of the violent extremists. What do they say? What do they claim? What is their philosophy and their ideology? What is their agenda and what they are selling out? And how they are influencing our youth and trying to attract them towards their facade-based ideology. And that is violent extremism, that is terrorism, that is a criminal act. And at the same time, I would like to discuss in these 3 days counter-narrative to violent extremism. We will take their ideas one by one. And then I will give you the counter-narrative on every single idea propagated by them. Initially, the plan of my lecture for this session, which I was given, was a bit different. But after my arrival in this session, I have changed. Sitting here, I have changed my mind. Original plan was I was supposed to talk around 1 hour, but addressing all possible aspects of terroristic and extremistic ideologies, their views, their narratives, and our counter-narrative, but in a very brief and summarized manner, including flavors of all kind of answers. And then I was supposed to deliver my talks in detail from tomorrow. So I have changed the whole scheme. So this talk is going to be the first regular talk of our 3-day sessions. So I won't take all subjects and all issues just in one session. I will take 2 or 3 aspects of extremistic ideology, or we will pick some important basic arguments through which they attract our youth and misguide them, and they try to influence the minds of our youngsters, and they get confused, and they think when we talk of counter-terrorism, and when we talk countering violent extremism, and when we talk of peace, and we talk on the prohibition of terrorism, prohibition of suicide bombing, prohibition of this kind of criminal killings, they insert this kind of germs of misunderstandings and misconceptions in the minds of our youth that we are going to be apologetic. They say, you are apologetic. You are not taking the courageous and the true stance of Islam. You are avoiding from the true teachings of Quran and Sunnah. You are apologetic. You are defensive. And our youth, the Muslim generations, because everybody has not the deeper knowledge of Quranic teachings, even the violent extremists and their leaders, and those who are killing the people and the propagators, they don't have the true knowledge and deeper knowledge of Islam. They don't read the books, I know. They don't read. They don't write. They are not academics. They are not jurists. They are not scholars. They are not the people of deep understanding of Islamic teachings. They just use the words, use the terms, misinterpret them, take the terms and concepts out of their contexts and explain them in a totally wrong way. And they have no evidence of Quran and Sunnah in support of their ideology. I know this. That's why none of them has been able to write a rebuttal to my fatwa on terrorism. For the last 7 years have passed. Just. They have not been able to refute it through evidences, through arguments, through the textual evidences of Quran and Sunnah, through the solid arguments given by the Prophet of Islam, through juristic arguments, through jurisprudential arguments, through hadithic arguments, through Quranic and exegetical arguments given by the authorities. They have never been able to refute it academically, intellectually, classically, juristically. And they just say, you are apologetic. You don't want to say this thing and this thing. We are doing because of the foreign powers and the Western world. They have dual standards and they talk of politics. That's why I thought that in these sessions, I would teach my sons and my daughters, the youth, who want to become peace promoters, and of course our respected guests will benefit out of these sessions if they participate. No doubt, violent extremism is a major problem in a global perspective. This extremism and violence is causing instability everywhere and causing heavy losses of human life in many regions of the world. And the Muslim world is the most sufferer. If you compare the amount of the loss of human lives with the Western world and the Muslim world, just take only one country, there will be huge difference, which is there is no proportion between the amounts of two kind of losses, totally disproportionate. It is important to address this issue because we need solution to that. And solution not just to protect people from becoming radicalized. This is one objective. To protect our people, to protect young people from becoming radicalized. One objective. But the second objective of this Al-Hidayah campaign in Britain and in Europe and different parts of the world, as an ongoing project of peace education program launched by Minhaj-ul-Quran International. The second objective is that this ongoing violent extremism, terroristic activities, and these kind of extremistic tendencies, all these issues are leading the Muslims in general towards suspicion. They are being suspected everywhere for the actions of a tiny minority, actions of a few criminals, but the whole ummah is being suspected, is being charged. And also the third objective is that non-Muslim world, they are viewing Islam and Muslim Ummah in a negative way, in negative light. And this viewpoint is definitely creating polarization. It is creating division between communities. And it is creating more and more suspicion. And because of these kind of suspicions and polarizations, actions and reactions are increasing from both sides. And this is not good for the mankind. It is responsibility of everyone. I am fulfilling my part of responsibility. And we are fulfilling as Muslims our part of responsibility. But only Muslims are not responsible. Responsibility lies as a whole on the shoulders of mankind. In totality, on the shoulders of human societies, on governments, on states, on responsibles, on human societal leaders. This is a common responsibility, which is to be addressed as a joint venture. We are taking it in order to deal with the narratives of violent extremists and narratives given by the terrorists like ISIS. I will specifically mention, and I will show you on the slides what ISIS is and what is Khilafah and what is Islamic State, what they claim, what they are, and what Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, told about them. So that our youth may be clear that are we apologetic or we are realistic, true followers of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. So, first of all, we will mention the narratives of the extremists, which are attracting some of our young people towards extremism. And then, as I mentioned, we will give the counter narrative one by one. Of course, there are many factors involved in this whole process. One is criminality, grievances, real or perceived. This is a question of debate. There can be in different parts of the world, wherever terrorism is emerging and prospering and being sponsored and being promoted and being supported, there are some local political reasons we can't deny. But at the same time, there are some international political reasons. The international community is also responsible for all these things. There are some reasons belonging to social justice. In those, I'm not talking of England and Western countries. I'm talking of those Muslim countries where the terrorism, this process is emerging and keeps on shifting from one part to other, from one country to other. All these countries, there are some problems related to social justice, related to legal justice, related to economic justice, related to political freedoms, related to enforcement or in-enforcement of human rights. There are many aspects. But all these reasons need to be dealt by the societies and by the states and by the governments. Our concern, we can't address all these issues. They may be regional, they may be local, they may be regional, they may be international. They may be political, they may be economic, they may be social, they may be mixed of many other aspects. We can't address those issues. Those issues are to be addressed by the societies where this process is going on, by the governments where these problems are being felt and they are becoming the cause of the development of these problems, and they are to be sorted out and addressed by the international community, governments and the states, if they are really interested in it. But our concern and role is just to deal with the ideology, to deal with theological aspect. I am neither head of the UNO nor head of those states and governments that I would be required to address those other issues. I, as a humble servant of Islam and humble servant of mankind, I have to deal, my role and our role together is to deal with the ideology and provide the counter narratives. That's it. So that we may protect our youth from being radicalized theologically, ideologically, philosophically, jurisprudentially. We want to stop them from being influenced by their misguiding ideas. And we want to make the matter of Islamic faith clear to them, whether all this phenomena and nonsense It can be carried out in the name of jihad. Maybe it is being carried out in the name of khilafah. Maybe it is being carried out in the name of Islamic caliphate, in the name of qital, in the name of this and that. So I have to address every single point just in its theological, jurisprudential and ideological perspective. What does Islamic faith say about this aspect? What does Islamic faith say about that? What does Quran say? What is Quranic authority? What is the Hadithic and Sunnah authority on this particular subject? Whether all these concepts, they have been creation of their own minds, of their own agendas, their own political needs, and they are just using the terms mentioned in Holy Quran and the terms and the words mentioned in the Hadith of Holy Prophet. Whether this is the case or the case is different and they are really talking about Islamic teachings. This is the only aspect which I want to make clear to my generations, whom I am responsible to provide them the guidance by the grace of Almighty Allah. We are, of course, aware that extremism or terrorism or violence exist in all communities, and it exists in the people belonging to all faiths. But again, that is not our role to deal with. As Muslims, we have a special responsibility to deal with extremism which is associated or which has been made associated, which is connected or which has been charged or which has been said to be connected with Islam, or which is being conducted in name of Islam. And that leads to violence committed in the name of Islam, Sharia and Quran and Sunnah, so that we can provide arguments and evidences as counter narratives against the extremistic ideology. So this is our religious duty. And this is our duty being Muslims and our duty being human beings, part of the global human community. So firstly, I would like to deal with the narratives and ideological themes and their theological concepts which are being promoted by the extremists. And this is their product, their agenda, which they are selling out. And our youth, being unaware of the real, deep, real, true teachings of Islam, they are being influenced by them. They think maybe they are talking right, because international situations support their slogans. God knows better who these terrorists are working for whom. They keep on doing their activities for years and years, and war on terror keeps on going on for years and years. I am unable to understand whether all big responsible powers of the world are unable to tackle with a handful of terrorists, including all their resources. They are unable to terminate them, they are unable to eliminate them, and they just tolerate them for decades, for many years. And then when they are terminated from one place, a new name is given to terrorism philosophy, and they emerge under the new banner, under the new name, under the new slogan, and they shift to another place of the same word. Then the same process starts there. So, who is providing them resources? Who is providing them logistics? Who is providing them all these things? Sometimes I am unable to understand what is going on. But in spite of all these facts, I confine myself to the role which Almighty Allah has conferred upon us. And that is to stop and protect our sons and daughters and younger generations from becoming radicalized by their misguiding ideology and remain true Muslims and peaceful Muslim for the mankind. So first of all, the first point which I would like to take from their narrative is Khilafah. In this session, I will try to take 2 or 3 points into consideration, and then remaining next topics we will deal tomorrow, inshallah, and the day after. Today I will try to discuss on Khilafah. They say that the Muslims are bound, and it is mandatory on them that Muslims should make an effort to implement a single or a global or a regional Khalifa. And they are bound to to fight for establishing caliphate. And that caliphate will govern Muslims or non-Muslims according to Sharia law. This is one thing. And in its support, they say that Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, has said that if anybody dies without establishing a khilafah, or without working for establishing a caliphate, or without working and striving and struggling and fighting and putting all of his efforts and means and resources in order to appoint any khalifa for whole world, and he dies, he will die death of ignorance. His death would be mautul jahiliyyah. So we would be answerable to Almighty God on the day of resurrection. So this is an obligation, Sharia obligation, and mandatory on us to fight for establishing a caliphate. This is their narrative. That's why the youngsters, in ignorance, this is life in ignorance. Nothing is related to death in ignorance. So because of ignorance, they fly. They go to Iraq, they go to Syria, other places. Just they have been misguided that this is our duty. Islamic faith and Almighty Allah and Holy Prophet demands from us to struggle for establishing a khilafah and caliphate anywhere. This is the first point. Let me explain it. I am telling you as a humble student of Islam. And I know when I say a specific word, a specific sentence, when I give a specific opinion, juristic opinion, I know what I am saying and I mean what I say. And Alhamdulillah Ta'ala, I have spent my whole life in the books. This is my life, the books, the knowledge, this is my life. Just in the last 15 to 20 years, I have gone through around 5 to 600,000 hadiths of Holy Prophet. I have read by these own eyes. More than 500,000 hadiths of Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. And I have compiled a book of hadith, Jami-ul-Sunnah, which consists in all works on hadith which I have done. Almost I have written around 200 books just on hadith out of 1,000 works which I have done. Out of 1,000 works, just more than 200 works are on hadith, and they are published. And Jami-ul-Sunnah, a compendium, a compilation of around 30 to 35,000 or 40,000 ahadiths, which I have chosen, selected from 5 to 600,000 ahadiths. So as a humble student of Islam, I have been sailing in the ocean of ahadith of Holy Prophet throughout my life. Then I have been teacher of Islamic law. I started my life as a lecturer in Islamic law and ended it up in the university as a professor when I was teaching the Masters of Law classes. Then I authored books on Islamic law. So I have been teaching the subject and the fiqh and hadith and its commentary and shuru. And then I have done the exegesis, the tafsir of Holy Quran. So all relevant sciences which are required to understand this subject, alhamdulillah, I have gone through by the grace of Almighty Allah. So the reason of telling this background is that I am saying, whatever I am saying with authority. And I know nobody in the whole world producing and promoting the extremistic ideology of Khilafah and the concept of Khilafah and misguiding the youth, none of those leaders would be able to rebut what I am saying today. None of them in the whole. And you won't find any rebuttal. I know all the sources, all the books, everything is in front of my eyes. When I say, I know, nobody would be able to rebut it ever. So now you'll be waiting. This is not common jalsa. So now you'll be waiting. What is the answer? The answer is that there is not a single verse of Holy Quran, not a single verse, no commandment of Almighty God, neither directly nor indirectly. Almighty Allah, through His any commandment, has not fixed any responsibility to fight for establishing a khilafah for the whole world or for any part of the world. There is very clear. If you don't know, then you get confused. And if you know the reality, then nobody would be able to confuse them. Nobody would be able to say, you are apologetic. No, I'm talking of Quran. So the first thing keep in your mind, there is not a single commandment of Quran which fixes a responsibility on a Muslim to establish a global Khalifa or any caliphate, and you have to fight for that, and you have to go there and die for that. So this is absolutely jahala, ignorance and dalala, misguidance. Saying this and believing this is jahala and dalala, ignorance and misguidance. This is the case of Quran. Let me explain a little bit. The word Khalifa, Yastakhlif, Khalaif, and all the words from the same etymology, from the same root, have been used in Quran in different perspectives. So keep in your mind, what is Khilafah? Khilafah is not a specific form of government. Absolutely no. What is Khilafah? Khilafah, Khalifa, these words are derived from the word Khalafa. Khalafa means succession, to come after another. People who come after other, generation who comes after other generation, the government who comes after other government, the people, the children who comes after their parents and their fathers came after their grandfathers. So this continuity and coming after others, this is known as Khilafah. In Holy Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah, in Holy Quran, the word has been used إِن يَشَاء يُذْهِبْكُمْ وَيَسْتَخْلِفْ مِن بَعْدِكُمْ مَا يَشَاء كَمَا أَنشَأَكُمْ مِن ذُرِّيَّةٍ قَوْمٍ آخَرِينَ. If he wills, he can eliminate you, and after you make your successor whom he likes, as he raised you from the descendants of another people. As the people who were before you came after some generations, in the same way you will be replaced by next coming generations. So this process of replacement and coming after one another, this process is known as khilafa and khalafa and istikhlaf. And the word is used, yastakhlif min ba'dikum. It is very, very clear in its message. Min ba'dikum means they will come after you. Khalf, your back. In Arabic, back is known as khalf. Amamakum wa khalfakum. In front of you and behind you. Those who come behind you are your khalifa. So the Quran says that they will come after you in the same way as your earlier generations came after their people, their ancestors. Then again Quran says, وَاذْكُرُوا إِذْ جَعَلَكُمْ خُلَفَاءَ مِنْ بَعْدِ عَادٍ. Khulafa. And remember when he made you successors in the land after the people of Ad. So the people of Ad came, people of Thamud came, people of Shu'aib came, people of Hud came, and they were khala'if, coming after the people of Nuh, people of Saleh. So the generations and nations went on coming after one another. So this process of coming after one another is known as khulafa'a min ba'dikum, khalfakum. Again it is stated, Vazkuru, this is the first verse which I have mentioned. It is Surah 6, Surah number 6, not Baqarah, verse 133. The first, In Yasha Yuzhibkum. Surah 6, verse 133. The second surah, which the verse I have mentioned, is again Surah 7, verse 74. Then again Quran says, وَاذْكُرُوا إِذْ جَعَلَكُمْ خُلَفَاءَ مِنْ بَعْدِ قَوْمِ نُوحٍ. Whatever I have explained, I am substantiating it from the Quran. Wherever the word khalifa and khulafa and khalaif is used, it is used in the same sense. Governments who come after the first governments, generations who come after one another, the people, the nations who come after other nations. But this process of coming after other is known as khalafa, khalaif, khalifa and khulafa. Quran says, and call to mind when he made you the successors in the land after the people of Nuh. When people of Nuh were finished, then you took over. So this taking over after somebody is eliminated, this process is known as khulafa and khalifa. So keep it on. Again, go Surah 10, verse 14. Again, Quran says, ثُمَّ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ خَلَائِفَ فِي الْأَرْضِ مِنْ بَعْدِهِمْ. And then after them, we made you their successors in land. So Khalifa and Khalaif and Khulafa and Khalf and Khilafa. It means there were some nation, there were some people, there was some government, there were some rich people, and they were holding land, or they were in power, or they were residing there in the big places, and then they were replaced, and some other nation took over. So this process of taking over another one, predecessors, and replacement of the generations, replacement of nations, replacements of people by people, this is Khalafa and Khalifa. So this is Surah 10, verse 14, as I mentioned. In the same way, Surah 11, verse 57, Quran says, وَيَسْتَخْلِفْ رَبِّي قَوْمًا غَيْرَكُمْ. Almighty Allah will replace you by some other people. Process of replacement. The word Khalifa and Khilafa is used just for this purpose. Even you are Khulafa of your parents. You replace your parents, and your parents replace your grandparents. So this process of replacing a continuity of generations and people from people, this is known as Khalafa and Khalifa and Khalaif. Then I have mentioned quite a few verses, and the same concept you can find everywhere. It means any government which is replaced by other ruling party. Today in UK, the Conservative Party has replaced, before that, the Liberals. Liberals were replaced by Conservative. This process is Khilafah. I would wait if anybody challenges my interpretation in the world. This is a nonsense. The youngsters, since they don't read, they don't know the roots of Arabic words, they don't know the books and authentic resources of sources of Sharia. So they are keeping on misguiding. So any government who comes in, this is a process which is going on all over the world. The only difference is that the word of replacement was used in Quran 15 centuries before. This is just a democratic process. And the world reached this conclusion centuries after it was revealed in Holy Quran. This is a miracle of Quran. That Quran told that governments are to be replaced by other people, so one government should not remain till death. This is the concept of Khilafah. The rulers should keep on replacing. If they are not replaced, they will become dictators. Keep on replacing them and let other new people, let them to take charge so that they may deliver according to their ability. And then after some time, they should also be replaced by new people so that they may again deliver according to their ability. So this continuity of the governments and continuity of the parliaments and continuities of the MPs and continuity of the local bodies, governments, and continuity of all nations, this process of continuity by the process of replacement is Khilafah itself. Now, somebody can say, this is a literal interpretation of the Quranic words. But the problem is that I don't find any other verse in Holy Quran which gives anything different from this. Quran has not given any commandment. Any specific form of government has not been given in Quran. Now, this is somebody can say this is my interpretation, but there are great imams of tafsir. Wherever the word Khalifa, Khalaif, Khulafa, Khalafa has been used in Quran, so it has been discussed in detail in Quranic commentaries. So I'm quoting, you can read Tabari, Imam Ibn Jarir Tabari, read Ibn Hatim al-Razi, you can read al-Maturidi, read Abu Ja'far al-Nahas, read al-Jassas, read Abu Lays Samarkandi, you can read al-Baghawi, you can read Zamakhshari, you can read Ibn al-Jawzi, read Imam Fakhruddin Razi, Imam Qurtubi, al-Baydawi, their tafsirs. I'm quoting all tafsirs. Al-Baydawi, Al-Qurtubi, An-Nasafi, Al-Khazin, Ibn Kasir, Abu Hafs al-Hambali Sahibul Lubab, As-Suyuti, Imam Jalaluddin, Suyuti, Abu Sa'ud, Ibn Ajiba, Ash-Shawkani, Al-Alusi, Al-Qasimi. Read all books of tafsir. They have given commentaries on these verses. None of them has mentioned ever in the 1400s history of Quranic exegesis. None of them have mentioned anything which the ISIS or these extremist people are explaining today. You will never find in any book of tafsir this kind of concept. So I agree with them. Don't accept my interpretation. Accept what has been said by the authorities of tafsir of Quran in our 1400 years history. I'm telling you, out of, if you can find 1000 books on tafsir, for example, so none of them out of 1000 would provide that concept which is being propagated by the violent extremists and the caliphate people, so-called claimant of caliphates. Then what we will do, we can come to the hadith. These were caliphates. Now we come towards hadith. If I don't understand, Imam Bukhari does understand. It is acceptable. I didn't understand the true meanings. Okay, I am ready to accept. It doesn't make any difference. But Imam Bukhari also doesn't understand. Imam Muslim also doesn't understand. Imam Abu Dawood, Imam Tirmizi, Imam Nasai, Ibn Majah, and all other authorities. Even what do you say? Whatever you have understood now, none of all Imams throughout 1400 years of history, none of them could understand. This is the Quranic commandment. So I am going to mention very interesting thing. Read Al-Bukhari, Sahih Al-Bukhari. Let me quote all names of the books, then I will give you a brief answer. Sahih Al-Bukhari. He has made chapters on Kitab al-Imara, on the government, on the ruling, ahkam. Imam Muslim, he has established book on Imara. Imara means establishing of the government. Imara. Abu Dawood, he has book, chapters on this. Tirmizi has the chapters. Imam Nasai has the chapters on Imara. Ibn Majah has the chapters on Imara. Muwatta Imam Malik, Imam Abdul Razak, Imam Ibn Abi Shayba, Imam Darimi, Imam Dar Qutni, Ibn Abi Asim, Ibn Hibban, Ibn Khuzayma, Al-Khilal, Al-Maqdisi, At-Tabarani, Mu'jam Al-Awsat, Mu'jam Al-Kabir, Mu'jam Al-Saghir, Musnad Shamiyin, Baghvi, Sharh Sunnah, all books of hadith. Take them. You will never find, and I have never found a single chapter on establishing this kind of khilafah in any book of hadith compiled in the last centuries of Islamic history. None of them. All names which I have mentioned, starting from Imam Bukhari to Imam Baghawi. 500-600 years of compilation of hadith. There is no chapter in a single book of hadith, and no single hadith, not a single hadith, has been reported, has been narrated in any book of hadith which establishes the concept that this is mandatory to establish and to fight for establishing khilafah. There is not a single hadith of Holy Prophet. So where you have got this guidance from? Where you have picked this concept? And you are inviting, influencing the youth, misguiding them and taking them for killing without any evidence of Quran and Sunnah. And you say this is mandatory. Who makes the commandments mandatory? You make or Allah makes? You are the authority. You are the authority, or the Holy Prophet of Islam is the authority. Where we are supposed to find the authority? From your tongue or from Quranic text? From your preaching or from the preaching of Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, and hadith of Holy Prophet and Sunnah of Holy Prophet, which are compiled in the hundreds of the books of hadith. Chapters are there on the related subjects. But I have never seen a single hadith throughout my life, and I have mentioned all the books. If these people can provide, I would be thankful to them, and I will be ready to change my view. So how can I accept this is a mandatory responsibility of Muslim Ummah to do a thing which Almighty Allah has not commanded and Holy Prophet has not commanded? Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And then there are The commentators of hadith, of Bukhari and Muslim and Abu Dawud Tirmizi, Imam Khattabi, Imam Ibn Battal, Imam Ibn Abdul Barr, Abdul Walid Baji, Ibn al-Arabi, Imam Abu Bakr al-Arabi, Qazi Iyad, Imam Nawawi, Imam Kirmani, all these are commentators of Bukhari and Muslim. Ibn Who has commanded this? Who has interpreted it? Who has explained it? Who has mentioned it? None of the Imams. While explaining the Quran or explaining the Sunnah and Hadith of Holy Prophet, none of them has mentioned it. I again say this is just dalala, misguidance and jahala, ignorance. This is a big fitna of our time. This is Khawarij ideology, the Kharijite ideology. Then we come to the jurists, Islamic jurists. Every book on fiqh, whether it is written in Hanafite jurisprudence, Hanafis or Malikis or Shafi'is or Hanbalis, any, none of them has mentioned this is a mandatory commandment to fight and to establish this khilafah. None of them. So it is neither in Quran, nor in Sunnah, nor in commentary of Quran, nor in commentary of Hadith, nor in fiqh. Imam Malik bin Anas, his book on fiqh is Al-Mudawwanatul Kubra. He doesn't mention this. Imam Abu Yusuf, Imam Muhammad bin Hassan al-Shaybani, Imam Yahya bin Adam, Imam Shafi'i in his Kitab-ul-Umm, Imam Abu Ubaid Qasim bin Salam, Kitab-ul-Amwal, Ibn Zanjabay, Kitab-ul-Amwal, Ibn Abi Asim, Ad-Diyat, Imam Tahawi, Abu Jafar Tahari, Sharh Ma'ani al-Asar, Imam Kharqi, Imam Mawardi, Ibn Hazm, Ibn Abdul Barr, Imam Sarakhsi, Sahib al-Mabsut, Imam Kasani in Badai-ul-Sana'i, Imam Marghinani in Hidayah, Ibn Rushd in Bidayatul Mujtahid, Ibn Qudama al-Kafi and al-Mughni, Imam Nawawi in Rawdatul Talibin and al-Majmu', Imam Qurafi, Imam Sahib al-Furuq, Ibn Muflih, Imam Shatibi and al-Itisam, Imam Ibn Hammam in Fathul Qadir, Ani Badruddin Ani in al-Binaya, Ibn Muflih, Imam Mawardi, Al-Insaf, Zakaria Ansari, Ibn Nujaym in Al-Bahrul Ra'iq, and Shurbini, and Mughni, and Bahuti, and Haskafi, and Bujairami, and Shawkani, and Dusuki, and Ibn Abidin al-Shami, Dardir al-Jaziri. You take 50 top books of Hanafis, Malikis, Shafi'is, Hanbalis, in the same way of Jafaris. You take all the books. And there is not a single chapter or a section, not a single commandment which says it is mandatory to you to fight and go here and there and fly and fight for establishing Khilafah. Not a single commandment in it, and not a single chapter in a book of fiqh. Where you have get from this idea? Where you have get from? And you say this is mandatory, this is fard. Again, the books on Usuluddin, books on Aqidah, also they don't mention this thing. Imam Abu Hanifa, his Al-Fiqh-ul-Absat, his Al-Fiqh-ul-Absat and Al-Fiqh-ul-Akbar. And Imam Tahawi, Al-Aqidah Tahaviyya, Imam Abu Hasan Al-Ash'ari, Al-Ibana, Imam Ajuri, Abu Bakr Ajuri, Kitab al-Sharia, and Imam Tahawi I mentioned, and Lalakai, Sharu Usul I'tiqadi Ahl Sunnah, and Imam Behaki in his book Al-I'tiqad, and Imam Juwaini, Lumu al-I'tiqad, and Imam Ghazali, Qawaid al-Aqaid, and Shahristani, Al-Milal Wal-Nihal, and Nasafi, Al-Aqidah Nasafiyya, and Imam Razi, and Ibn Qudama, and Amidi, and Allama Ibn Taymiyyah, Al-Aqidah Asfaniyya, Aqidah Wasitiyya, Taftazani, Sharh al-Maqasid, and Ibn Abdul Izz, Sharh Aqidah Tahawiyya, and Sha'rani, and all these ulama and aimma who have written on Aqaid, Aqidah, and Usuluddin. None of these books mention this kind of nonsense. It is not mentioned anywhere. And then books on Seerah of Holy Prophet. I have tried to find it in my life, almost in every part of knowledge, every science of knowledge, where this concept they have derived from. Nothing. I mentioned these things in early 90s. Majority of you were not there at that time. I spoke on these subjects in early 90s. How many years before today? Around 27 years before. 2, 3, 4 years constantly I have been speaking on these subjects in early 90s. But for the last 25, 26 years, I didn't have a chance. Now I am elaborating it in more detail. Imam Ibn Hisham, Neshapuri, Abu Nu'aym, Bayhaqi, Qadi Iyaz, these are Aimma of Seerah. Of Suhaili, Ibn al-Jawzi, Qastalani, Makrizi, Samhudi, Suyuti, Salehi, Mulla Ali Qari, Halabi, Khafaji, Zurqani, Ahmad Zain Dahlan, all these Ashabul Sayyar, they have never mentioned even a Da'if Hadith or a Maudu. Da'if Hadith is not available. Even the weakest tradition of Holy Prophet is not available on this subject, which they are claiming. So this is the position of Quran. Now, next very important point, they talk that there is hadith of Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. And they claim, they say, I used to listen from them, that this is in Sahih Bukhari and Muslim. That if you don't fight for establishing a Khalifa and do bear on his hands, and you die, your death would be the death of ignorance. This is again, this saying is out of context. Holy Prophet ﷺ never said this thing. Never Holy Prophet ﷺ said this thing. And none of the books of hadith carry this subject. They have taken these words out of context. These words have been taken out of context. So the word Mautul Jahiliyyah, the death of the Jahiliyyah, death of the ignorance, it comes for rebellion. If anybody rebels against the government, his death would be the death of ignorance. If anybody goes against the Jama'ah, his death would be the death of Jahiliyyah, ignorance. If anybody distorts and creates distortion in the ummah, takes up arms and fight against the majority of ummah or fight against the government, and he rebels, becomes a rebel, or he works for rebellion, his death would be the death of ignorance. Rather, whatever they are doing, their death is death of ignorance. They are rebels. Their death would be death of ignorance, which they are claiming to be martyrdom. So the hadith goes against them, not in favor of them. So I mentioned from Sahih Bukhari, this hadith comes in Kitabul Fitan. Holy Prophet ﷺ said, An ibn Abbas an Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Qala man kariha min amirihi shay'an falyasbir, فإنه من خرج السلطان شبرا مات ميتة جاهلية. Ibn Abbas said that Holy Prophet ﷺ said, if someone, you try to understand, see, there's 180 degree, opposite, totally opposite thing which they are claiming. If someone sees something in his government, if someone sees anything wrong in his rule, in the rulers, in the government, then he said, if you take up the arms or you go against the community, if anyone who separates or exits from the authority of the state, if someone goes out of the authority of the constitution, fights against the authority of the state, Holy Prophet, and he dies, he will die only the death of Jahiliyyah, ignorance. This is the hadith of Bukhari. Is there any connection of this hadith with whatever they are saying, that you should fight for establishing a Khalifa, and if you don't establish a Khilafah, and you die without the Bay'ah and without the Khilafah, you will die death of ignorance? This is totally a lie, a concoction. This is a concocted story. Holy Prophet ﷺ, whatever Holy Prophet said, he said to abide by the law, abide by the constitution, abide by the authority of state. And if you have to work in opposition, oppose the governments and rulers in a peaceful way, in a democratic way, carefully. Don't become rebel. Don't take arms in your hand, and don't challenge the writ of the state and constitution. If you do this and you die while you're this struggle, your death would be the death of ignorance and jahiliyyah. So this is totally opposite of what they say. This is Bukhari. Again, the same hadith has been repeated. And Ibn Abbas radiyallahu ta'ala, again in Sahih Bukhari, Holy Prophet ﷺ said that if you see anything in your government which you dislike and you want to oppose them carefully and patiently. It means oppose them constitutionally, oppose them lawfully, oppose them democratically, oppose them peacefully. فَإِنَّهُ مَنْ فَارَقَ الْجَمَاعَةِ شِبْرًا فَمَاتَ إِلَّا مَاتَ مِيتَةً جَاهِلِيَّةً. If someone sees something in his government which he dislikes, he should be patient and careful in responding. Anyone who separates from the community, now the second world, there was the challenges, the writ of the state. Now in the second hadith, Holy Prophet said, anyone who separates from the majority of the community, from jama'ah, from the ummah, from the community, and dies, he will die only the death of jahiliyyah, death of ignorance. Again, this hadith Imam Bukhari has reported in Kitabul Ahkam. And very interestingly, the heading of the chapter is Babu Sam'i wa ta'ati lil imam ma lam takun ma'asiyah. Imam Bukhari has brought this hadith under this chapter. The chapter means that the chapter which Imam Bukhari has established is to hear and obey the government, the constitution or the state, to hear and obey the state or the constitution as long as it is not disobedience to Allah. obedience to your rulers, as long this obedience do not lead you to the disobedience of Almighty God. So he has established under this chapter. So this is prohibition of rebellion, prohibition of fighting against the writ of the state. And Holy Prophet again said the same thing. If you fight against the writ of the state and you exit from the authority of the from your majority of the community, your death would be death of Jahiliyyah. And Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam stated again in another chapter, say Imam Bukhari reported in another chapter, and it is reported by Huzaifa bin al-Yaman. Holy Prophet said, this is very significant hadith. Huzaifa bin Yaman says that, the Sahabi, he says, O Messenger of Allah, we were in Jahiliyyah, in ignorance, life of ignorance and evil. Then Allah brought us this good through you, through the divine guidance of Quran and Sunnah. Then I asked, Ya Rasulullah, is there any evil coming after this good? Holy Prophet said, yes. I asked, Huzaifa bin Yaman says, is there any good after that evil? Then when that evil will come after this good, then again, is there any possibility then good will come after that evil? Holy Prophet said, yes, yes, but it will be mixed. It will be mixed. I asked, what is it that is mixed with it? Holy Prophet replied, some people will guide people by other than my guidance. Now this hadith is coming against their ideology, against their claims. Holy Prophet is pointing at them, specifically and expressly mentioning their ideology and their way of thinking. This is Holy Prophet's miracle, prophecy. Holy Prophet says that some people will come, they will try to guide the people by other than my guidance. They won't follow my guidance. They won't take their thinking, their ideas, their philosophy from my guidance. They will guide the people according to their own wish and wills. You will see what they do and dislike it. Their action would be disliked. I asked, is there any evil after that good? Mixed good. Holy Prophet said, yes. Those who invite people to the gates of Jahannam, they will invite the people towards the gates of Jahannam, hellfire. If someone responds to them, someone is attracted towards their ideology, attracted towards their slogan, attracted towards their invitation, said they will throw him also into hellfire. I said, Messenger of Allah, Ya Rasulullah, describe them for me. Who would be those people? Those who would be calling the people towards hellfire, and those who will throwing the people in the hellfire, who would be those? Describe them for me. Holy Prophet said, they would be from our race. They would be Arabs. I am reading the hadith from Sahih Bukhari. These are not my words. So I am not to be blamed. I am reading the hadith of Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, which has been reported in Sahih Bukhari. Holy Prophet said, they will belong to our race and they will speak our language. What does it mean? Our language. Holy Prophet ﷺ is saying, they will speak Arabic. They will belong to our race. They will speak our language. That's why people will get attracted towards them. They will quote wrong things in Arabic language. People will think whatever they are saying are the ayat of Quran and the hadith of Holy Prophet. They will speak our language. I said, what do you command me to do if I encounter them? He said, cling to the community of the Muslims. Whatever the majority of the Muslims, their views and their faith is, cling to that. and their leader, the Muslims' leader, majority leader. I asked, and if they have neither community nor leader, you will see every single word which they speak, which they propagate, is mentioned in Hadith of Holy Prophet. Holy Prophet said, he asked the companion, Huzaifa, he asked, if there is no Muslim community left, they say the Muslim governments are not doing enough. There is no Muslim leader left who would protect the interest of Muslim Ummah, who would fight for the interest and safety and security of Muslim Ummah, who would stand up for Muslim Ummah. There is no community, there is no one who can raise the voice. That's why we have taken up this responsibility. This is what they say. Holy Prophet said, stick to the Muslim community, Jama'ah of the Ummah and their leader. Then Hazrat Huzaifa asked, Ya Rasulullah, if there is no community left and no leader, then what should I do? He said, then keep apart from all these groups. They will lead you to Jahannam. Keep apart from these groups. Holy Prophet mentioned the word. فَأَتَزِلْ تِلْكَ الْفِرَقْ كُلِّهَا. Holy Prophet said, قَالَ تَلْزَمُ جَمَاعَةَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ وَإِمَامَهُمْ قُلْتُ فَإِنْ لَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُمْ جَمَاعَةٌ وَلَا إِمَامٌ قَالَ فَأَتَزِلْ. Keep apart. تِلْكَ الْفِرَقَ كُلِّهَا. From all these groups who are inviting you towards their ideologies. All these sects and groups, even if you have to eat the roots of a tree in a jungle until death takes you while you are in this state, don't follow these groups. This is Sahih Bukhari, which talks about the maut of Jahiliyyah. There is no other hadith on maut of Jahiliyyah mentioned in this context. This is the whole sum of Sahih Bukhari which I have mentioned on this particular subject. Where they have got this hadith from? There is no hadith of Holy Prophet. This is their own hadith. Now Sahih Muslim. And Sahih Muslim has established a chapter. Its title is Tahir-ul-Qadri ala ta'ati wa mufaraqatil jama'ah. It's Sahih Muslim. It's Imam Muslim says, instruction to stick to the main body, majority of the Muslim Ummah in the times of trials, and warning against those inviting people to rebellion against the state. This is the chapter of Sahih Muslim. Warning against those who invite people towards rebellion. This is the chapter of Sahih Muslim, and under this chapter, Imam Muslim has mentioned the same hadith which I have already read from Sahih Bukhari, reported by Huzaifa bin al-Yaman. Same hadith Imam Muslim has brought here. Tahrimul khuruj ala ta'ati wa mufaraqatil jama'ah. Stick to the obedience of the government, the constitution, and don't get invited or attracted towards rebellion against the Muslim community. And Holy Prophet said, again, his words are, Man kharaja min at-ta'a wa faraqa al-jama'ah thumma mata mitatan jahiliyyah. This is the maut of Jahiliyyah. It has been narrated on the authority of Abu Hurairah that Allah's Messenger said, who defected from obedience to the constitution, to the state, and separated from the main body of the Muslims, and then he died in that state, he would die the death of one belonging to the days of Jahiliyyah, of ignorance. This is the hadith of maut of Jahiliyyah. Then as Abu Hurairah reported, Holy Prophet said, Man kharaja min ummati ala ummati yadribu barraha wa fajiraha wala yatahasha min mu'miniha wala yafi bizi ahdiha falaysa minni. Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that any person who kills the righteous and the wicked of them, who stands up and starts killing the righteous from my ummah and the wicked people from my ummah, sparing not even those who are staunch in their faith. When they put the suicide bombers in the mosques, in many Muslim countries, they bomb the mosques and the worship places, and they kill the people while they are in prostration and sujood, while they are praying Salatul Jummah, while they are performing rituals, they are going for ziyarah. Holy Prophet ﷺ said, those people who will stand up and start killing the righteous and the wicked of my ummah, and they will not spare even those who are staunch, practicing Muslims, and they are worshipping in the places. They will not spare them, and they will not fulfill their obligations towards those non-Muslims who have been given a pledge of security by Islam. They will neither spare the pious people, nor the bad people, nor the worshippers, nor the non-Muslims who have been protected and granted guarantee by the Islam in our societies. He said, these people, the killers, they are not from me, they are not from my followers, and they don't belong to my ummah. Is this apologetic stance or true prophetic stance? Is this apologetic or true prophetic stance? Holy Prophet said, these people who start killing of those, they don't belong to my ummah. The words are, falaysa minni, they have no link with me. That's why we say that terrorism has nothing to do with Islam. This word and this sentence has emerged from Holy Prophet's hadith. It has no link with Islam. It has no link with Quran and Sunnah, because Holy Prophet de-linked them from his community. فَلَيْسَ مِنِّي. Again Holy Prophet said, and this is in Sahih Muslim, the same word, the one who separated from the main majority body of the Muslims and he died, his death would be belonging to the death of the days of Jahiliyyah. Again from Sahih Muslim. Again Abdullah ibn Abbas says the same hadith. There are no different words. Sometimes separation from Jama'at leads you to the mouth of Jahiliyyah. Sometimes rebellion against the state, rebellion against the constitution, standing up against the majority of Ummah, and you die, this death would be the death of Jahiliyyah. Only death of Jahiliyyah has been mentioned in this sense. Again Holy Prophet said, Abdullah bin Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu reported in Kitabul Imara, he said, Man khala'a yadan min ta'atin laqiyallahu yawm al-qiyamati la hujjata lah wa man mata wa laysa fi unuqihi bay'atun mata mitatan jahiliyyah. The Prophet said, any person who challenges the writ of the state, man khala'a yadan min ta'atin, who challenges the writ of the constitution, challenges the writ of the government, writ of the state, and stands up against the constitution and state, and he dies, he will have no argument in the court of God, Almighty Allah. And if he dies without that obedience which he was supposed to perform to the constitution and the state, and he became a rebel, and he died during his rebellion, Holy Prophet said his death would be considered to be the death of the days of Jahiliyyah. So all these hadiths are related to rebellion. Death of a rebel. His death would be the death of ignorance. Where this concept of fighting for establishing a caliphate has come from? None of these hadiths mention a single hint, even a small hint, of fighting for establishing a caliphate, and you die in that process without a caliphate come into existence, so your death would be death of Jahiliyyah. Where this subject and whole story has come from? It is not the teachings of Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. So, cutting the story short, the same hadith is in Sunan Abi Dawood, same in subject in Tirmizi, all these hadiths in Tirmizi. These are all things are in my books, some published, some unpublished. Whenever I keep the files, or these are all files from my own books. This is the same hadith is Sunan an-Nasai, same hadith. Man kharaja min at-ta'ah, who stood up against the writ of the state and constitution and disobeyed the constitution, and he died, his death would be the death of ignorance. These are the word of Nasai words. So everywhere, and same the Al-Bayhaqi and all books of hadith, they have mentioned the same words. So there is not a single hint on the subject which is mentioned that if you die without establishing a caliphate, your death would be death of ignorance. This is a concocted story, a fraudulent story, just a lie which they are concocting and which they are formulating just to misguide the youth and younger generations for their own political agendas. Now what they are doing, the ISIS, this would be the last and very important segment of this today's talk. They are the claimant of Khilafah and claimant of a Dawla al-Islamiyya. Very important. I would request every one of you just register in your minds and write down on the slates of your hearts and try the basic message so that you may remember throughout your life. The ISIS, the claimant of Islamic states, our younger generation, some of them are being attracted and they are fighting for them. Either they are creating problems in their own lands, in their countries, or they are flying to Iraq and Syria. Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, mentioned Mr. Javed Iqbal Tahiri. Take the file B first. Keep in your mind, very significant, these hadiths which I didn't mention in my fatwa. These are the new things which are in my new books, newly authored books. Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, mentioned that all this fitna and misguidance will emerge from Iraq. Yes. And then I will give the details from the prophetic hadiths. Holy Prophet mentioned their signs of ISIS. It looks like as if the whole manifesto and signs of ISIS were in front of the eyes of Holy Prophet ﷺ. And he was telling to his ummah that this thing will happen in the time. Let me explain first. And I would start from again Bukhari and Muslim. And then I will mention the hadith from the Shaykh of Imam Bukhari, Imam Nu'aym bin Hammad. And Abdullah bin Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. This hadith is muttafaq alayh. Abdullah bin Umar says, Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam came out of his mosque. He was standing on the door. Bete wo kidhar hai wo? Soti. Pointer bete. Lamba kar do na isko. He was standing on the door of the mosque, Masjid Nabawi, or lamba kar do. And he was facing towards east. This is muttafaq alayh hadith in Bukhari and Muslim. And he was facing towards east, standing on the door of the mosque, Masjid al-Nabawi. And he said, Allah innal fitnata ha huna. He pointed at east. Min haysu yatlu qarnu shaitan. A group of shaitan, a party of shaitan will emerge from that place, and pointed at east. That whole fitna would start from there. Abhi to hadith aa rahi hai. And again, Holy Prophet, and the chapter Imam Bukhari has made, the chapter under which he has mentioned his hadith, the title of the chapter is Al-Fitnatu min Qibal al-Mashriq. This is Sahih Bukhari's chapter. That fitna will emerge from the east. I am telling you step by step. Then we will come, what does it mean? What does east mean? And then when we reach the east, then we will mention the signs. There will be 3 steps of this discussion. And the same chapter has been established by Imam Muslim. Babul fitna min al mashriq. That fitna will emerge from the east. These are the chapters of Sahih Bukhari and chapters of Sahih Muslim, because Holy Prophet ﷺ, he was standing on the door of his mosque, pointing at the east and said, Ala innal fitnata hauna. The biggest fitna in the history of my ummah will emerge from this side. This is the first hadith. Now, towards east there are many other towns and many cities and many countries fall on the east from Medina. Now I am coming directly to other hadiths. And that hadith is again Sahih Muslim and Kitabul Fitan. And Holy Prophet, the chapter of the book of hadith is the turmoil is from the east, from where the horns of Shaitan appears. Sect of Shaitan will appear. This hadith reported by Salim bin Abdullah bin Umar. Hazrat Abdullah bin Umar, the son of Sayyidina Umar Farooq radiallahu ta'ala, the great companion. He is the reporter of this hadith. Now I am explaining the hadith with a hadith, explanation of hadith through hadith, and again from Sahih Muslim. Sayyidina Abdullah bin Umar addressed some people came from Iraq. This in Sahih Muslim. Some people came from Iraq, a delegate. And they asked about some matters. Sayyidina Abdullah bin Umar said, Ya Ahl al-Iraq, ma as'alukum an as-saghira. O people of Iraq, how eager you are to ask about a minor issue. You are asking me about the very, very small and minor questions. And how neglectful you are to ask about a major issue, which is going to take place in future, which is going to emerge. And you are not bothering about that major thing, and you are asking about very minor things. And then Abdullah bin Umar said, I heard my father Abdullah bin Umar, he said that I personally heard from Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, while pointing towards the east, he said to people of Iraq, O people of Iraq, he pointed at the east, yani Iraq, and said, verily strife and fitna shall come from here. Whence shall rise the horn of Shaitan, and you shall be killing one another. This fitna would be the killing of mankind, killing of the people. And Abdullah bin Umar said, the people of Iraq, Holy Prophet pointed at you, that this fitna of the killing, massive killing of mankind will emerge from the land of Iraq. This hadith in Sahih Muslim, volume 4, hadith number 2229, 2229. And again, hadith number 2905. This is Sahih Muslim. Then there are many hadiths. I am just picked up only two. All these hadiths mention the word East. One hadith mentioned the word Iraq, explaining the word, what does East mean. Then there are many. Holy Prophet ﷺ said that if the whole shar and evil is equal to 10 parts, 9 parts would be the killing of mankind. And this fitna will emerge from the east. That will be the land of Iraq. 9 parts of shar, of evil, will emerge from there. This is Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu. And Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal referred, Min hunalika yatlu qarnu shaitan walaha tis'atu a'shari shar. Over there will arise the horn and generation of shaitan, and it will possess 9/10 of total evil. And Holy Prophet said, ثُمَّ اسْتَقْبَلَ الْمَشْرِقَ فَقَالَ مِنْ هَا هُنَا يَخْرُجُ قَرْنُ الشَّيْطَانِ وَالزَّلَازِلُ وَالْفِتَنُ وَمِنْ هَا هُنَا الْفَدَّادُونَ. Said, then he turned his face to the east and said, from here, from this side will emerge the horn, the generation, the sect, and a group of shaitan, the followers of shaitan. And the earthquakes and troubles in my ummah will emerge from there. And from here will emerge the stern-spoken and arrogant people who will walk like arrogance. They will be proud, rude, and cocky style of walking. And Holy Prophet ﷺ said, they will keep on emerging from time to time. They will changing their places, changing their name. They will keep on emerging from time to time, and their last group will emerge in the days of Dajjal, Antichrist. This is a continuing process. So these are all ahadith from Sahih Bukhari, Muslim, and then of Musnad Ahmad bin Hanbal and many other books too. Muttafaq alayh. Now coming to the world, one hadith clearly mentions that the Holy Prophet, when he mentioned towards the east, he mentioned the east, he means the land of Iraq. But now we come towards the imams, the commentators of hadith. What do they say? Imam al-Khattabi, this is the first commentator of Sahih Bukhari. Now we have to see what did the great imams of hadith understand. Is it our interpretation when we have seen them that they have emerged from Iraq, the desert of Iraq, the ISIS, or the great imams 1,000 years before, they also understood this hadith in the same way, in the same sense? This we have to check. Imam al-Khattabi, he died in 388 Hijri, 1200, about 1100 years before. He was the first commentator of Sahih Bukhari. He says, Nahiyatul Mashriq, hiya badiyatul Iraq wa nawahiha. At that time there were no ISIS. 1200 years before, 1100 years before, Imam Khattabi, the first commentator of Sahih Bukhari, he explains the Mashriq, Nahw al-Mashriq, Qibal al-Mashriq, what does it mean? He said, Badiyatul Iraq wa nawahiha. It means the desert of Iraq and its surrounding regions. This is meant by East and Najd. The desert of Iraq and its surrounding regions. Then second commentator of Sahih Bukhari, his name is Imam Ibn Battal. Again, he was around 1100 years before. He wrote the second full commentary of Sahih Bukhari, Imam Ibn Battal. He said, Zuhurul Khawarij fi Ard Najd wal Iraq. Holy Prophet's pointing at east means he was pointing at the land of Iraq, its desert. Then commentator of Sahih Bukhari, Imam Kirmani. His time is 786 Hijrah, around 800 years before from our time. He says, Najduhu, Holy Prophet pointed out Bil Madina, Badiyatul Iraqi wa Nawahiha. He says that the Kharijite groups will appear from the land of Iraq and the eastern regions that lie beyond them. Then Imam Ibn al-Mulaqqin, he again says, and Imam Dawoodi says, he said, Najduhu Badiyatul Iraqi wa Nawahiha. He said, this Najd and this direction of east means desert of Iraq and its surrounding regions, as it is to the east of the people of Medina. Have you shown the map? You have the map. The Mosul, the headquarter which these people had hold. You see, straight away, show the Mosul. Straight away, this east goes to the desert of Iraq, which was the headquarter of ISIS. This is the east. Then comes Imam Ibn Hajar Asqalani, the famous Imam of Hadith, commentators. He says in Fathul Bari, Hafiz Ibn Hajar Asqalani, Min Qibal al-Mashriq and min jihatehi, direction of east. He said, as an Badiyatul Iraq wa Nawahiha, the desert of Iraq and its surrounding regions. Holy Prophet said, the biggest fitna of my ummah will emerge from the desert of Iraq and its surrounding regions. This is Imam Asqalani saying. These are not my interpretations. These are the unanimous interpretations of the great Imams who led the whole Muslim Ummah, and he provided us the knowledge of Hadith. Then Imam Aini, he writes in Umdatul Qari, again, Badiyatul Iraq wa Nawahiha, same words. By east and Najd means the desert of Iraq and its surrounding regions. Qazi Iyad, Again he cites Biladul Iraq min al-fitan. He mentioned the desert of Iraq. Ibn al-Jawzi says Badiyatul Iraqi wa nawahiha, the desert of Iraq and its surrounding regions, as it is to the east of the people of Medina. Imam Qurtubi, he says فَإِنَّ ذَلِكَ كَانَ أَصْلُهُ وَمَنْبَعُهُ الْإِرَاقِ. Iraq, ye fitna, this will appear from the land of Iraq because this is the east of Medina. Then all these scholars, commentators and imams, they have unanimously explained the word east from the direction of east. They say this means desert of Iraq and its surrounding region. This is the place where the ISIS emerged from. Now very important part of the same, coming to the ISIS. Holy Prophet mentioned, pointed out, but he didn't left out the things very significant. He gave the details. This was his prophecies. Then a great Imam of Hadith, Imam Nu'aym bin Hammad, he is Shaykh of Imam Bukhari. Imam Bukhari is his student. He wrote Kitabul Fitan in Hadith. And he reports from Abu Huraira radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. And Sayyidina Abu Huraira, beti now come the black flags. Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Hazrat Abu Huraira says, فَقُلْتُ سَمِعْتُ رَسُولَ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ. The first hadith, which I told you would be the file A. He said, I heard the messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying, إِذَا خَرَجَتِ الرَّايَاتُ السُّودِ فَإِنَّ أَوَّلَهَا فِتْنَةٌ وَأَوْسَطَهَا دَلَالَةٌ وَآخِرَهَا كُفْرٌ. You remember my words, this is Jahala and Dalala. Holy Prophet said, when the black flags emerge from that side. Have you put the picture of black flags? Bring me to. Would you be able to? Okay. Keep in mind then he has another file, then I will give you the signs, black flag. You see, Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, is mentioning. When the black, إِذَا خَرَجَتِ الرَّايَاتُ السُّودِ, when the black flags will emerge. Now, after understanding the direction of east and meaning of east, the desert of Iraq and surrounding regions, now coming towards direct ahadith which provide us the content to understand the reality of ISIS and these people. Holy Prophet said, when the black flags emerge, the first of them, the beginning of them will provoke strife, fitna. The second of them will provoke misguidance, dalala. And the last of them will provoke disbelief, the kufr. They will lead the people towards kufr. This is Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Kitabul Fitan by Imam Nu'aym bin Hammad, page 203, and hadith number is 551. Now come to Ashabul Dawla, the next one. Have you seen the flags? Now the next hadith I am quoting is from Sayyidina Ali. Sayyidina Ali ibn Abi Talib radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. Again he said, إِذَا رَأَيْتُمُ الرَّايَاتِ السُّودِ. Sayyidina Mawla Ali al-Murtaza said, when you see the black flag, people raising the black flags. This hadith starts from the world of black flags. Then Sayyidina Ali says, mentions their signs. Sayyidina Ali said, from Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, reported from him, said, قُلُوبُهُمْ كَزُبَرِ الْحَدِيدِ. Their hearts will be very hard, like fragments of iron. Sayyidina Ali is telling, on behalf of Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, their hearts would be very hard, like fragments of iron. Number 2. Holy Prophet said, and Sayyidina Ali named, Hum ashabud dawla. They would claim to be the representatives or the founders of Islamic State. This is the hadith. I have not created these words in books. This is Imam Nu'aym bin Hammad, and he is Shaykh of Imam Bukhari. He is reporting all these ahadith. He is quoting all these ahadith from his book of hadith. Book on hadith. लिखा है बेटे असाबुद दौला, इसको क्या बेटे enlarge करें ना, ad-dawla Islamiyya. You know, they write on their flags, ad-dawla Islamiyya. बेटे उधर लोगों के मुंह इधर हैं, इस तरफ भी दिखाएं शाबाश. हाँ, इसको जरा बेटे enlarge कर सकते हैं. दौलतुल खिलाफत इस्लामिया ऊपर करें. You see. The Holy Prophet's hadith, hum ashabud dawla. They will claim to be the founders and the possessors of Islamic State. This is their flag. Could you ever imagine that Holy Prophet would mention even the name of their ad-dawla? Ye? This is the prophecy of Holy Prophet and miracle of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Everything is there. Holy Prophet has not left a single thing without mentioning for his ummah. But we need to read. We need to have an access to their places. We need to study. We need effort to know. Then Holy Prophet said they would claim to be the possessors or leaders of the Islamic State, Ashabud Dawla. Then Holy Prophet said, and the Sayyidina Ali, La yafuna bi ahdin wala mithaq. They will honor neither any covenant nor any agreement. They won't believe in any UNO. They won't believe in any state responsibility. They won't believe in any political covenants, in any agreements between the nations. They will neither honor any covenant nor any agreement between nations, between communities. And they will apparently invite to the truth. They will apparently invite, to the truth, to Islam. They will apparently invite you that we are fighting for establishment of Islamic Caliphate. We are on the truth. We are on right path. We are fighting for the uplift of Islam. We are fighting in order to protect the rights of Muslim Ummah. We are fighting and struggling for Islamic values. Holy Prophet said, they will invite the people and claim and raise the slogans to the truth, even though they would not be the truthful people. Ye hadith laga. Yad'u ila al-haqq wa laysu min ahlihi. Their slogans, they will speak about the truthful things, but they will not belong to the truth. They will not be the truthful people. Then very important thing, their names will be agnomens. Agnomens. Their names would be known as Abu so and so, Abu so and so, Abu so and so. Give all the 20 names. Now you read. Holy Prophet said their names would be Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, Abu so and so, Abu Abdur Rahman al-Bailawi. I am quoting you the names, and just keep in your mind the prophetic tradition. Holy Prophet's miracle. Every single leader not known with his original name, with kunya. Holy Prophet said the words of Asma'uhumul kuna wa nisbatuhumul qura. He said their names will be agnomens, Abu so and so, and their ascription will be to the villages. People normally would not know their original names. They will know them with kunya. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. Abu Bakr. His original name is Ibrahim Abad Ibrahim. Nobody knows his name is Ibrahim. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. Abu Abdur Rahman al-Bailawi. He would be known as Abu Abdur Rahman. His original real name is Adnan Ismail Najm. Nobody knows, except the people of understanding, the people of knowledge. I mean common people. The third, Abu Bilal al-Mashhadani. His real name is Samir Abd Muhammad Nail Samir. Abu Ayman al-Iraqi, Abu Ali al-Ambari, Abu Luqman, Abu Mus'ab al-Halus, Abu Umar Qardash, Abu Nasir al-Amni, Abu Abdul Rahman al-Amni, Abu Ali al-Shari'i, Abu Anas al-Iraqi, Abu Umar al-Shishani, Abu al-Athir, Abu Musab al-Turki, Abu Jasim al-Iraqi, Abu Umar al-Mulakim, Abu Luqman, Abu Jalal al-Jaburi, Abu Khalifa, Abu Basir. All these are Abu so and so. And Holy Prophet said their ascriptions will be towards the villages. This is strange phenomena, miraculous phenomena. Holy Prophet ﷺ telling every single thing which appeared in our lifetime, and he told to his ummah 1500 years before. We are not apologetic. We are on the true path, and we are the followers of prophetic guidance. Then, further astonishing thing, Ibn Abu Hurairah radiyallahu ta'ala anhu reports, an Ali bin Abi Talha, qala, when they will emerge from Iraq, yadkhuluna Dimashq, they will enter into Damascus and Syria. Birayat Sudin Izam, with big black flags. So, I have not entered and inserted these words in the books of hadith. The only problem is, normally people, they don't have access to the books, they don't read, they can't go into the depths. People need knowledge, they need information, they need someone to inform them. That's why this Al-Hidayah camp and Minhaj-ul-Quran is fulfilling the duty for the Ummah. I am not creating any new thing. I am just conveying whatever Holy Prophet ﷺ said. I am conveying it to you. I am communicating to you. Holy Prophet said that they will enter into Dimashq, they will enter Damascus with huge black flags, and they will put up a fierce fight in the city, leading to mass killing. And Holy Prophet said, فَيَقْتَتِلُونَ فِيهَا مَقْتَلَةً عَظِيمًا شِعَارُهُمْ بُكُشٌ بُكُشٌ, and their battle cry would be kill, kill, kill. This is jihad. Kill the people, kill the people, kill the people. This is what they are doing. And they say, we are establishing the Islam, and we are protecting Islam, we are fighting for the rights of Islam and the Ummah. This is what every single word they are uttering. Holy Prophet ﷺ informed us that they will say like this. Then again, much more interesting, what's the people, the youngsters are going from England, are they going or not? A few number. They are going from Norway, they are going from few number, from Denmark, a few number going from Spain, from Italy, from France, from other countries, from Muslim world, for Western world, they are going. Now, Holy Prophet told us this thing also. Sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. A great miracle of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He knows the unseen. He knows, he has knowledge of the incidents taking place in very, very far future. Everything used to be in front of his face, in front of his eyes, like we see our own hands. This hadith number is 565, Kitabul Fitan. They will cry, kill, kill, kill. Then Huzaifa bin al-Yaman is the reporter of another hadith. And hadith number is 580. Huzaifa bin Yaman says that the people will come with black flags. وَيَتْبَعُهُ, Holy Prophet said, أَوَّلُهَا نَصْرٌ وَآخِرُهَا كُفْرٌ. In beginning, Holy Prophet said, they will get success. They will get victories. أَوَّلُهَا, in beginning, they will get beginning. And very interesting thing, the word is nasr. They will get madad. Who will provide them madad? Allah knows and Allah's Prophet knows better. In the beginning, they will be provided with support. But in the end, they will remain supportless. And then they would lead the people and youngsters towards kufr. يَتْبَعُهُ خُشَارَةُ الْعَرَبِ وَصَفِلَةُ الْمَوَالِي وَالْعَبِيدُ الْأُبَّاقِ وَمُرَّاقُ الْآفَاقِ سِمَاهُمُ السَّوَادِ وَدِينُهُمُ الشِّرْكِ. Huzaifa bin Yaman said, this group will come up, emerge with black flags. The first of them, they will mark some victories. And in the end, they will mark disbelief. And this movement, Holy Prophet said, will be followed by Arab fugitives. This ISIS movement, which Holy Prophet ﷺ is pointed at and hinting at, this will be followed by the Arab fugitives and rebels. And this movement will be followed by ignoble non-Arabs. Some youngsters from Arab world and youngsters, ignoble youngsters from non-Arab world. They will follow this movement. They will get attracted toward this movement. They will get influenced by their slogans and their ideology. They will follow them. And this movement will be followed by absconders and deserters from distant regions of the world. All these words have been mentioned by Holy Prophet. The deserters, absconders, they will follow this ideology and this movement and they will run towards them and from different regions of the world. I quote the word, Murraqul Afaq, different regions of the world, Afaq, the whole world. They will run towards them. Wal Abidul Ubbaq, ignoble and deserted non-Arabs. They have no minds, no understanding. They are misguided, unfortunately. They will follow their, and from Arab world, fugitives and rebels and criminals, Holy Prophet said, the criminals, they will follow this movement. They will follow this ideology. So congratulations, you are on the path of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. And these criminals, these people being influenced are on the path of the criminals. You are the torch bearers. You are illuminating the world. You are providing the whole world with the light of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, with his guidance. You are following the path of Holy Prophet. You are creating awareness to the people, to the youth, the younger generations about the things which Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. And the people following them are on the part of the kufr, dalala and jahala. Here is a clear distinction. You are great sons of the Prophet Muhammad's ummah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You have to be the torch bearers. You have to be the peace promoters. You have to create peace within yourself and outside your lives, in the society. Peace comes from your heart. It comes out from your mind. It has to be settled first of all in your character, in your thoughts, in your actions, in your deeds, in your practices. And then it should come up, appear from your body, from your spirit, and then you have to propagate in your society so that you may become the torch bearers and leaders of the younger generations of the Muslim Ummah. And Minhaj-ul-Quran has been gifted with this ability, with this responsibility, which Minhaj-ul-Quran and his sons are fulfilling by the grace of Almighty Allah. Then Holy Prophet ﷺ said, these absconders and deserters from distant regions of the world and remote areas of the world, they will go towards them. And Holy Prophet said, their mark simahumus sawat, their mark will be black garments. Shows the garments. Every their leader and fighter wearing black garments. We have become aware of these facts now when we see on online and on computer and what is happening. But Holy Prophet, past, present and future, everything was in front of his eyes. He used to see the past, right from the beginning of this universe. The events which took place in the beginning of the universe were in front of his eyes as everything is happening now. And he used to see every single thing till the day of judgment, till the day of resurrection. Past future was present in front of his eyes. He used to see the past and future like the present. This was his miracle. He used to see the heavens while he was praying. He used to see the hellfire. He used to see the Hawd. He used to see the day of judgment. He used to see when Isa a.s. will come, what he will do. He used to see when Hazrat Imam Muhammad Mahdi will take birth, what he will do. He used to see the Antichrist and their fighting and 10 people riding the horses. He used to see every single event which has taken place after his time or which will take place till the day of judgment, as he was seeing his own eyes, his own hands, as he was seeing the events of his present time. So that's why he was in a position to inform us about everything which was to take place in our time. He informed us that this will happen so that we may become careful and we may follow the right path. To Holy Prophet it was normal. Almighty Allah has made his whole body like eyes. He used to see in front of him, he used to see back of him, he used to see from right side, he used to see from left side. When he was leading the prayer, he used to see behind all sufuf and lines of his companion, and he used to say, pray nicely. I use from my back in the same way as I do in front of me. In this way, he used to see the future as he used to see the past and present. That's why this was nothing strange for Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This was Almighty Allah had made him like this. This was his miracle, miraculous personality. So that's why he told every single thing and all signs which we are watching now, he told us 15 centuries before. This is the Khatamun Nabiyyin and Khatamul Mursaleen. That's why he said, no other prophet is needed to raise after me because I am fulfilling the duty for every time till the day of resurrection. Then another important thing, very important. An al-Hakam bin Nafi abil Jaman al-Himsi Haddasana Jarrah an Artad bin al-Munzir an Tubay an Ka'b. Ka'b al-Ahbar. He is reporting hadith. Holy Prophet ﷺ said, قَالَ لَيُوشِكَنَّ الْعِرَاقُ يُعْرَكَ أَرْكَ الْأَدِيمُ وَيَشُقُّ الشَّامُ شَقَّ الشَّعْرِ وَتُفَتُّ مِصْرُ فَتَّ الْبَعْرَ. Holy Prophet ﷺ said, at that time, a time will soon come when Iraq will be pulverized and Iraq will be stricken by war. Holy Prophet, Iraq would be stricken by war. And Syria will be divided by civil war. And Egypt will crumble because of political and environmental turmoil. Egypt will crumble because of political turmoil. Iraq will be stricken by war and Syria will be divided by civil war. All the three countries mentioned Holy Prophet. Hadith number is 585. Which I mentioned. Then Hazrat Abu Huraira radiyallahu ta'ala anhu reports from Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, when this fitna will emerge from desert of Iraq, claiming the Ad-Dawla Islamiyya with black flag, when this fitna emerges, فما تطيف بالشام وتغشى العراق بالعراق وتخبط بالجزيرة بيدها ورجلها وتؤرك الأمة فيها أرك الأديم ويشتد فيها البلاء حتى ينكر فيها المعروف ويعرف فيها المنكر لا يستطيع أحد يقول مه ولا يرقعونها من ناحية إلا تفتقت من ناحية يصبح الرجل فيها مؤمنا ويمسي كافرا. Abu Huraira radiallahu ta'ala anhu says, this would be the fourth strife, the fourth fitna in my ummah. This. And this will be a blind and dark strife. And that will engulf people like the crashing waves of the sea. Holy Prophet said, there will be no house belonging to an Arab or non-Arab, talking of Muslims, Arab or non-Arab Muslims, except that will be filled with humiliation and fear. You see, humiliation. The people feel humiliated. The people feel suspected, humiliated. They feel sidelined. They feel all of us are criminal. All of us are, this is what is being said. All of us are terrorists. Holy Prophet said that all houses belonging to my ummah, almost all, Arab or non-Arab, will feel fear and humiliation. Holy Prophet said this fitna will encircle Syria. This will envelop Iraq. And this will strike the Arabian Peninsula with its hands and feet. The whole of ummah, my ummah, will be stricken by war because of it. There would be a whole ummah would be stricken by war, directly or indirectly. Political war, military war, economic war, psychological war. The whole ummah would be stricken by war because of it. Holy Prophet said, during that period, troubles will intensify to the point that good would be considered to be evil and evil would be considered to be good. The mindset of the people would change. They would be so confused. No one will be able to request reprieve, to stop it. And nowhere do they mend it. If it would be stopped, or if this fitna is crushed from one place, it will appear in another area. So for it was working in the name of Al-Qaeda, it will appear in the name of Taliban. If it is working in the name of Taliban in the Pakistan or that part of the world, again it will appear in the name of Daesh in Iraq and many other names. So if it is crushed at one place, it will reappear at another place. So it will keep on moving from place to place. During that time, a man will enter the morning as a believer and enter the evening as a disbeliever. And this would be the state of mind. Confusion would be up to that extent. Is anything left about ISIS which Holy Prophet ﷺ has not informed? Then Qatada reports on Abi Zar al-Ghifari radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. This hadith which I mentioned is number 676, Kitab al-Fitan. Then Qatada reports on Abi Zar, Anin Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Awwalul kharabi bi Misr wal Iraq. The first of all turmoil will take place in Egypt. Then in Iraq. Very, very, very significant thing is coming in this hadith. Then Abu Zar asked, Ya Rasulullah, if this whole area is stricken to war and this fitna engulfs everything, then where should I go? He said, stay in Sham. Stay in Sham, Syria. Then he asked, if I am forced for migration from Syria. Holy Prophet told about this Syrian immigrants and migration process which took place from Syria to different countries. He was asked if, Holy Prophet said, if they push you and force you to migrate from Syria, to leave the Syria, Holy Prophet said, Qalansak lahum ayna saquka. He replied, go wherever they send you as immigrants from Syria, go wherever they send you and migrate to the region where you can find refuge. Wherever you are sent, wherever you can settle, find refuge, and when this fitna engulfs the Syria, then leave Syria and become an immigrant. Go to other countries. Holy Prophet ﷺ has told us up to the extent of immigration, Syrian immigration, in different parts of the world. And this hadith number is 710, which talks about the Syrian immigration as a result of this fitna. There are many other hadiths on the same subject. Now come to the signs, the last part, finishing. I just conclude by repeating the signs. Hum ahlur rayat is sood, and give them. So I am repeating the signs now, concluding the all contents of Ahadithun Nabawiyya, Holy Prophet's traditions. Holy Prophet said, Hum ahlur rayat is sood. Important signs of ISIS Kharijites. The ISIS Kharijites would have black flags as their group identity. Now you will see these are on left side are the words of hadith. It is here also. On one side are the words of prophetic hadith, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. On the other side are the pictures so that you may correlate them. And you may understand, but these are not my interpretations. These are exactly the words of Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which has proven the truth. Qulubuhum kazubar al-hadid, second sign. Their hearts would be very hard and violent like fragments of iron. I am repeating in the form of signs. We have removed the pictures. There are pictures, you can see how hard and violent their hearts are, how they were killing the people and they are killing. Third, hum ashabud dawla. They would claim to be the founders and leaders of Islamic State. Ashabud dawla. Yad'una ila al-haq wa laysu min ahlihi. Apparently they would claim to invite the people towards the true authority of Islam. But they wouldn't be truthful. They would be liars. They had no connection and link with the authority of Islam. They would be misguiders. Zuhuruhum min badiyatil Iraq wa nawahiha. Their appearance would be from the desert of Iraq and its surrounding regions. There's another hadith. I left many hadiths. I mentioned some of them. Another hadith said, وَشُعُورُهُمْ مُرْخَاتٌ كَشُعُورِ النِّسَاءِ. Their hair will be long like that of women. Can you show some pictures of the long hairs? You see, long hairs, their beards, their head hairs and everything. And their hair will be long. Then Holy Prophet says, يَقُودُهُمْ رِجَالٌ كَالْبُخْتِ الْمُجَلَّلَةِ. They would be led by men, their leaders, whose heads will appear like the covered humps of camels. They will have the big turbans and covered heads like humps of camels. You can find pictures on computers and online. He doesn't have that picture. I have seen those pictures. You can find out. You must have seen. Their battle cry slogan would be kill, kill, shi'aruhum bukushun, bukushun. Then istihlalu dima'i wal amwal wal furuj. Bloodshed, killing and looting and wealth pilfering and rape would be lawful for them. Because they would say we are doing jihad. Astaghfirullah al-azim. This is jihad. Astaghfirullah al-azim. Holy Prophet says, Al-Iraqu yu'raku arkal adim. At that time, Iraq would be stricken by war. Yashukku shamu shakka shar. Syria would be divided by civil war. Taghshal Iraqa wa tutifu bisham. Holy Prophet used two words together. Taghshal Iraqa wa tutifu bisham. Look at their name. Da'ish. Dawla Islamiyya lil Iraq wa Sham. Da'ish. It means, no, it doesn't have Daesh, the word. It means Dal means Dawla. Then Alif is Islamiyya. Dawla Islamiyya. Then Ain means Lil Iraq. Or Sheen means Sham. Dawla Islamiyya Lil Iraq wa Sham. Holy Prophet mentioned the both names together. Takhshal Iraq wa tutifu bisham. This fitna will envelop Iraq and encircle Syria together. And they say we are for Iraq and Sham. And then the Arabian Peninsula. Yadkhuluna Dimashq fayaqtatilun. They will enter Damascus and put up a very big violent fight and killing. Intisharul fitnati fi jami' al-jazira, Holy Prophet said. Then this fitna will strike the whole of Arabian Peninsula. Then Holy Prophet ﷺ said, Yatbahu khusharatul Arab wa safilatul mawali wal abidul ubbaq wa murraqul afaq. As I mentioned, this movement will be followed by ignoble fugitives, rebels, deserters, absconders from Arabs and non-Arab and from distant parts of the world and remote areas of the world. This is what is happening. This is the first fitna from Al-Qaeda to Daesh, where the people and the youngsters from different countries and parts of the world are flying toward that. Then Holy Prophet said, this will start from a fitna, the middle stage would be dalala, and the third ultimately would be kufr, disbelief. Asma'uhumul kuna wa nisbatuhumul qura. Their names will be agnomens, Abu Fulan, Abu Fulan, Abu Fulan, Abu so and so. And their ascriptions will be to villages. These would be their signs. Today, in this session, so we have addressed the subject of Khilafah and the subject of ISIS, their claims, their ideology, their signs, and everything, every single thing in the light of Quran, first the Khilafah, and in the light of the traditions of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then inshallah in next 2 days, we will be addressing the ayat, the verses which are known as ayatul qital and ayatul saif, and the foreign policies is affecting and creating all these problems. What would be the jurisprudential effect and all relevant issues which are the part of their narrative, so that we may understand the proper counter narrative of their thinking. Masalam. Assalamu alaikum wa
rahmatullahi. Can I ask people to remain seated just for a few minutes? I've got some announcements to make. Please sit.
ये पाकिस्तान का मीडिया हमारा पूरे चैनल्स हैं, तो वो 2-4 मिनट उर्दू में चाहते हैं कि मैं इनसे बात कर लूं, क्योंकि पाकिस्तान में भी चलना है ना.
Assalamu alaikum. Just a couple of announcements. Can I have your attention, please? Please. Just a couple of announcements. After Shaykh-ul-Islam delivers a summary in Urdu after a few minutes, I want you all please to go to your workshops. There is meant to be a tea and coffee break, but I would suggest if you grab some tea, go straight to your workshops. You would have signed up for 2 workshops, today and tomorrow. So your first workshop, the rooms are allocated, they're labelled. Okay, there are 2 rooms downstairs and there are some rooms upstairs. So just, I think the terrorism one is downstairs, and another one is downstairs. And there are some rooms for your workshops upstairs. Inshallah, after the workshops, you will have Asr prayer, and then you'll have your dinner at 7 o'clock at the Keel Hall. And after that, inshallah, at 9 o'clock, if you assemble here for the Mehfil Sama, inshallah, it will be in the presence of His Eminence Shaykh-ul-Islam. So if you come here at 9 o'clock, and try and be as prompt as you can so we can, inshallah, benefit. Mehfil Sama.
Mehfil Naat and Hadra.
Mehfil Naat and Hadra, inshallah.
Yeah, no Mehfil.
Mehfil Naat and Hadra. And
ध्यान से ले जाएं कमरे में ये बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम
and also, I just want you to just take advantage while you're here. There are exhibitions, I mean, not necessarily straight away, but in the course of the next day or so, there are exhibitions. We have, particularly inspired by the Norwegian Al-Hidayah, we have an exhibition in the exhibition hall, which is just in the lobby area. And we have an art exhibition that was commissioned, an anti-extremism art exhibition.
That is worth visiting, the Norwegian gallery, and their exhibition is worth visiting.
It was commissioned by the Norwegian Al-Hidayah team to be produced by a Norwegian artist.
MashaAllah.
And this is unique. I mean, I don't think anywhere there is an art exhibition that deals with countering extremism. Very unique. It's very well worth visiting, inshallah, at some point. Inshallah, the Norwegian contingent are here, and they may be given time later at a later stage to explain their exhibition and how they came around to it. So inshallah, tomorrow, I just want to make sure that you're on time tomorrow. So this is tomorrow, inshallah. You'll see from your programs there is after breakfast there is sports for brothers and sisters, including self-defense for sisters. And after that, at 11:15, we have a split session, brothers and sisters. On the sisters' side, Dr. Ghazala Qadri and all female attendees will be gathering here at 11:15 for a special workshop, a Muslim woman's balancing act, the home and family, work and study, deen and dunya. And if you haven't had a chance to hand in your questions, please do so straight away to Sister Khadija Atkinson or Sister Tahira. Do you want to stand up so they know who the questions need to go to? Sister Tahira, she must be dealing with the workshops. But Sister Khadija Atkinson is here. And for the brothers, Building the Modern Muslim Man, a panel discussion for all brothers. We have some special panelists, and that won't be in the Chancellor's prayer hall. It will be in one of the seminar rooms, which will be labelled, one of the large seminar rooms on the ground floor, inshallah. So, Jazakallah, thank you for your patience, and I will allow Shaykh-ul-Islam to continue for now. Jazakallah.
जी बेटी बात कर लो।
जी डॉक्टर साहब सबसे पहले ये कि आपने काफ़ी डिटेल में सारा एंटी टेररिज्म के हवाले से बात की है। यहाँ पे हम लोग ब्रिटिश मुस्लिम जो है वो एंटी टेररिज्म के हवाले से पाकिस्तान समेत मुसलमान बहुत सी कुर्बानियाँ दे रहे हैं, लेकिन अभी भी हम जो मगरबी ताकतें उनको सेटिस्फाई नहीं कर पाई। अभी रिसेंटली यूएस के प्रेसिडेंट ने इस हवाले से बयान दिया था, क्या कहेंगे आप?
देखिए, पाकिस्तान में दहशतगर्दी का फितना जितने उरूज पर था, ये क्रेडिट पाकिस्तानी अफवाज को जाता है कि उन्होंने पिछले चंद सालों में इतना कामयाब ऑपरेशन किया है कि ऑलमोस्ट 90% दहशतगर्दी की जड़ों को ख़त्म कर दिया उन्होंने पाकिस्तान में। अगर बाज़ बाहर के ममालिक इससे मुतमईन नहीं हैं तो उन्हें इस अमर का ख़ुद जायज़ा लेना चाहिए कि उन्हें 10 साल से ज़्यादा अरसा دہشت گردی کے خاتمے کے لیے افغانستان میں لگایا ہے، انہوں نے کیا رزلٹ حاصل کیے؟ وہ اپنے 10 سالہ ایفرٹ کے رزلٹ اور پاکستان کے 5 سالہ ایفرٹ کے رزلٹ کا موازنہ کر لیں. پاکستان کی اچیومنٹ ان سے بدرجہ بہتر رہی ہے. اپنے معاملے پر توجہ دیں، وہ دوسروں کے معاملے میں ٹانگ اتنی زیادہ نہیں اڑانی چاہیے انہیں. اور ہمارا کنسرن یہ ہے کہ یہ فتنہ، یہ دہشت گردی ٹھیک ہے نظریاتی اسپیکٹ بھی ہے، مقامی اسپیکٹ بھی ہے، مگر اس کے پیچھے ریجنل طاقتیں بھی ہیں. تو یہ بین الاقوامی برادری کو مل کر اس دہشت گردی کی مصیبت کو ختم کرنے کے لیے ایفرٹ کرنی چاہیے. پاکستان وہ کچھ علاقائی پریشانیوں میں بھی الجھا ہوا ہے، تو دیکھنے کا عمل یہ ہے کہ دہشت گردوں کو سپانسر کون کرتا ہے، سرحد پار سے دہشت گردی کتنی داخل ہوتی ہے پاکستان میں، ان کو وسائل کون مہیا کرتا ہے. تو اس خاتمے کے لیے ذمہ داری صرف پاکستان کی نہیں، علاقائی اور قوتوں کی بھی اور بین الاقوامی قوتوں کی بھی ہے. جی.
جب دہشت گردی کا جب عالمی مسئلہ تھا تو اس وقت دہشت گردی کا جب عالمی مسئلہ تھا تو اس وقت پاکستان صف اول کے صف میں کھڑا ہو کر اس نے دہشت گردی کا مقابلہ کیا. لیکن جب پاکستان تنہا دہشت گردی کا شکار ہوا تو عالمی ممالک نے پاکستان کو نہ صرف تنہا چھوڑ دیا بلکہ پاکستان پر ڈو مور کی ڈیمانڈ شروع کر دی. تو آیا کہ اس ملک میں آپ چونکہ پاکستان کی ایک بڑی معتبر سیاسی قیادت کر رہے ہیں تو اس حوالے سے پاکستان کو کیا پالیسی اختیار کرنی چاہیے؟
دیکھیے جی، بعض معتبر ملکوں کو ڈومور کہنے والوں کو خود اپنے اوپر ڈومور نافذ کرنا چاہیے. پاکستان تنہا جنگ لڑ رہا ہے اور تنہائی میں بھی جنگ لڑے گا. دہشت گردی کا خاتمہ یہ کسی بیرونی طاقت کا ایجنڈا نہیں ہے ہمارے پیش نظر، یہ ہمارے ایمان کا حصہ ہے. ہم نے دہشت گردی کے ختم کرنے کے لیے جنگ لڑی ہے، لڑیں گے، اور انشاءاللہ پوری پاکستانی قوم یکجہتی کے ساتھ ایک ہو کر دہشت گردی کے خاتمے میں حصہ لے گی اور دہشت گردوں کا مقابلہ کرے گی.
آپ نے بات کیا داعش کی، اور داعش میں ایک اور پرابلم بھی وہاں ہے جاد النکاح کی، اس حوالے سے وضاحت کر دیں.
کیا چیز؟
جاد النکاح، جو وہاں سیریا میں جب یہ داعش نے شروع کی اپنی کارروائی تو انہوں نے ایک فتویٰ سعودی عرب سے جاری ہوا تھا جاد النکاح کا، جس کی وجہ سے عارضی نکاح کیا کرتے تھے. تو اس میں جو رپورٹیں آئی ہیں 3600 تقریباً، اگر چیک کریں انٹرنیٹ پر تو آ جاتی ہیں 3600 خواتین جو عرب کنٹری سے واپس آئی ہیں پریگننٹ ہو کر. اس حوالے سے
میں نے تو حدیث نبوی کوٹ کر دی ہے کہ حضور صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم نے فرمایا کہ وہ قتل و غارت قریب بھی کریں گے، خون بھی بہائیں گے، مال بھی لوٹیں گے اور عزتیں بھی لوٹیں گے. ان کا فتویٰ سوائے بے حیائی کو حلال کرنے اور حرام کو حلال کرنے کے سوا کوئی حقیقت نہیں رکھتا. یہ تو ایک فتنہ ہے، اس لیے تو حضور علیہ السلام نے فرمایا کہ کفر کی طرف لے جائے گا داعش کا جو فتنہ ہے.
اگر پاکستان میں کوئی حادثہ ہو جائے تو اسے دہشت گرد قرار دیا جاتا ہے، مگر اس کے برعکس اگر کوئی ویسٹ میں حادثہ ہو جائے تو اسے حادثہ ہی سمجھا جاتا ہے، اسے دہشت گرد نہیں سمجھا جاتا. کیا کہیں گے آپ؟
یہ ایک عالمی مائنڈ سیٹ ہے، جب تک اس مائنڈ سیٹ کو درست نہیں کیا جائے گا دہشت گردی کا عالمی سطح پہ خاتمہ ممکن نہیں ہے. اس کو عالمی سطح پہ بھی ایفرٹس کو یکجا کرنے کی ضرورت ہے، علاقائی سطح پہ بھی اپنی ایفرٹس کو یکجا کرنے کی ضرورت ہے، سیاسی محاذ پر بھی اور معاشی اور سماجی محاذ پر بھی اور فکری اور نظریاتی محاذ پر بھی. یہ ایک ملٹی ڈائمینشنل فینومینا ہے. اس کو تمام جہتوں کے ساتھ کور کر کے اگر جنگ لڑیں گے تو نتائج خوشگوار پیدا ہوں گے، ہم کامیاب و کامران ہوں گے. اور اس امر کا بھی جائزہ لینا ہے کہ ہم اس پر غور کریں کہ دہشت گردی جنم جہاں بھی لیتی ہے اس کو وسائل کون مہیا کرتا ہے، اس کو لاجسٹک کون مہیا کرتا ہے، اور اس کو کام کرنے اور اس کو آگے سال ہا سال تک بڑھتے رہنے کا ماحول کون دیتا ہے. اور بڑی بڑی طاقتیں جب ان کے خاتمے کی جنگ لڑ رہی ہوتی ہیں تو کیا ان کے پاس اتنی سکت نہیں ہے کہ وہ ان کو سالوں کی سٹرگل میں ختم کر سکیں؟ اور پھر ان کی انٹیلیجنس اتنی کمزور ہے کہ وہ کہاں کہاں ان کے ٹھکانے ہیں انہیں معلوم نہیں ہے. اسٹیٹ اوے ان کے ٹھکانوں کو ختم کر کے انسانیت کو دہشت گردی سے نجات کیوں نہیں دلاتے؟ تو یہ ایک مشترکہ سٹرگل ہے. دہشت گردی پوری انسانیت کا مسئلہ ہے، یہ صرف ایک ملک اور ایک قوم کا نہیں ہے. اسے کسی مذہب کے ساتھ کنیکٹ کرنا یہ دہشت گردی کو فروغ دے سکتا ہے, کم نہیں کر سکتا. جب آپ دہشت گردی کو اسلام کے ساتھ جوڑ دیں گے اور اسلامی امت کے ساتھ جوڑ دیں گے اور اس کو اسلامک کے ساتھ بریکٹ کر دیں گے, اس سے مزید رد عمل پیدا ہوگا اور نوجوان نسل میں ایک اور ریئیکشن پیدا ہوگا. تو آپ اس طرح کے انداز فکر سے دہشت گردی کو بقا بھی دیتے ہیں, اس کو ترقی دے رہے ہیں. دہشت گردی کے ختم کرنے میں اس سوچ سے مدد نہیں ملتی.
قادری صاحب, میں تھوڑا سا چونکہ آپ کا تعلق منہاج-ul-Quran کے ساتھ ساتھ ایک سیاسی جماعت سے بھی ہے, تھوڑا سا میں سیاسی
آپ کس چینل سے ہیں؟
میرا نام زاہد خٹک ہے, میں UK 44 چینل سے میرا تعلق ہے. میں چونکہ جس طرح آپ نے ذکر کیا کہ پاکستان دہشت گردی کا شکار ہے اور اس وقت کہ ہمارا ملک جو ہے وہ مشکلات کا شکار بھی ہے, ہمارے ایک سپریم عدالت نے فیصلہ کیا ہے میاں محمد نواز شریف کو نااہل ہونے کے لیے. جس طرح آپ نے ذکر کیا کہ ہم سب کو اکٹھا ہونے کی ضرورت ہے, تو آیا اس وقت کہ ملک دہشت گردی کا شکار بھی ہے, نازک حالات بھی ہے پاکستان میں, اور نااہل ہونے والے ایک فرد یہ کہا جا رہا ہے اس کی طرف سے کہ مجھے کیوں نکالا گیا, تو آیا یہ ہم کس طرح عالمی برادری کو کس طرح اس حوالے سے جواب دے سکتے کہ ہم خود اپنی سپریم کورٹ کو تسلیم کرنے کے لیے وہ نہیں کر رہے؟ اس پہ آپ کیا کہیں گے؟
کہ جب میں کہتا ہوں کہ سب کو اکٹھا ہو کے جنگ لڑنی ہوگی تو میری مراد وہ طاقتیں, وہ قوتیں اور وہ طبقات ہیں جو نظریاتی طور پہ دہشت گردی کے خلاف ہیں. نواز شریف صاحب کو سپریم کورٹ نے بددیانت ڈکلیئر کر کے, خائن ڈکلیئر کر کے ڈسکوالیفائی کیا ہے, نااہل کیا ہے. وہ تو دہشت گردی کے موافق ہیں. انہوں نے تو پوری عمر دہشت گردوں کے ساتھ الائنس رکھا ہے. انہوں نے نیشنل ایکشن پلان بنا کے دہشت گردی کے خاتمے کے لیے ₹1 کا بجٹ ریلیز نہیں کیا. ان کو کوئی کریڈٹ نہیں جاتا. دہشت گردی کے خلاف پوری جنگ پاک فوج نے لڑی ہے اور پاک فوج کے جوانوں نے لڑی ہے. جو اس وقت کی سیاسی طاقت تھی نواز شریف صاحب کی زیر قیادت اور پنجاب میں شہباز شریف صاحب کی, یہ تو دہشت گردوں کے الائز ہیں. انہوں نے تو پنجاب کو دہشت گردوں کا سیف ہیون بنا رکھا ہے. اب رہ گیا سوال کہ ان کو ڈسکوالیفائی کیا, کسی کو کوئی صفائی دینے کی ضرورت نہیں ہے. دنیا کے ملکوں میں جب سپریم کورٹس ان کی اور اعلیٰ اور عدالتیں جب فیصلہ دیتی ہیں تو وہ ملک کسی کو اور عالمی برادری کو اپنی صفائی نہیں دیتے. سپریم کورٹ اور پاکستان نے کانسٹیٹیوشنل ذمہ داری پوری کرتے ہوئے آرٹیکل 62 اور 63 کے تحت ایک شخص کو کرپٹ ثابت کیا ہے پاناما لیکس کے کیس میں, اور اس کی دیگ میں سے ایک چاول ابھی نکلا ہے. انہوں نے تو کرپشن کے ساتھ پوری دنیا میں امپائر قائم کی ہے. جب ابھی ریفرنسز جائیں گے نیب کے تو ان کی کرپشن کی اور ہزاروں داستانیں کھلیں گی. لہٰذا ان کو نااہل کیا ہے, وہ ہماری سپریم کورٹ اور پاکستان کا ڈیسیژن ہے. اس پر کسی نے نہ کوئی اعتراض کیا ہے نہ اعتراض کرنے کا حق ہے. تو باقی رہ گیا ان کا یہ کہنا کہ مجھے کیوں نکالا. وہ میرا خیال ہے ان کو اس وقت تھوڑا ریسٹ اور علاج کی ضرورت ہے. بیٹے تھوڑا صبر بھی کیا کریں نا, آپ میرے ہی انگریز بن گئے ہیں. اردو کا بھی کچھ حق ہوتا ہے, جہاں سے آپ پیدا ہوئے ہیں. کہتے ہیں لوگوں نے جانا ہے فلاں جلد ختم کرے. وہ سارا دن آپ کا اپنا یہاں کا لوکل تو آیا کوئی نہیں میڈیا, جو آئے ہیں تو ان کو ہی ٹائم نہیں دینے دیتے آپ. اچھا
صاحب, صدر ٹرمپ نے اپنی حالیہ تقریر میں پاکستان کو دھمکیاں بھی دی ہیں اور ساتھ کچھ لالچ بھی دینے کی کوشش کی ہے, اور ایسے لگ رہا ہے کہ تیسری افغان جنگ کے آثار نظر آ رہے ہیں کہ وہ دوبارہ ایک ٹرائی کرنا چاہ رہے ہیں. یہ حالات پاکستان کے لیے کافی مشکل اور تکلیف دہ ہو سکتے ہیں. کیا حکمت عملی ہونی چاہیے پاکستان کی سیاسی جماعتوں کی اور حکومت کی اس سے عہدہ برا ہونے کے لیے؟
دیکھیے, میں سمجھتا ہوں کہ اگر قوت ارادی مضبوط ہو اور پوری قوم صدق دل کے ساتھ ایک سچے ایجنڈے کے اوپر اور اپنے مستقبل کو سنوارنے پر قائم اور دائم ہو, تو آپ کسی کی محتاجی کے بغیر بھی زندہ رہ سکتے ہیں. مشکل حالات میں زندہ رہنے کا سکل سیکھنا چاہیے. اور میری دانش میں اگر کوئی مدد بند کرتا ہے تو یہ اللہ کی نعمت ہے. اللہ کی مدد انہی کو ملتی ہے جو غیروں کی مدد کی محتاجی ختم کرتے ہیں اس قوم کو. اگر وہ کو مدد بند کرتے ہیں تو پاکستانی قوم مرنے نہیں لگی. ایک دروازہ بند ہے تو 100 دروازے اللہ کھول دیتا ہے، مگر غیرت کبھی نہیں بیچنی چاہیے، زندہ قوموں کی طرح زندہ رہنا چاہیے۔
ڈاکٹر صاحب میرا ایک آخری سوال ہے کہ آپ چونکہ ایک بڑی سیاسی جماعت کی قیادت بھی کرتے ہیں، تو جس طرح کے پنجاب یا پاکستان کے موجودہ حالات ہیں، اگلے سال الیکشن کا سال بھی ہے، اگر ایز اٹ از جس طرح پاکستان کی سیاسی صورتحال ہے، اگر پنجاب کو لیا جائے، اگر پاکستان عوامی تحریک، پیس پارٹی، پی ٹی آئی، یہ ساری جماعتیں اکٹھی ہو کر ایک گرینڈ الائنس نون لیگ کے خلاف نہیں دیتی تو ان کی کامیابی مشکل نظر آتی ہے، آیا کہ بڑے گرینڈ الائنس کے لیے آپ کوئی کردار ادا کر سکتے ہیں؟
دیکھیے میں تو اس سے 2 قدم اور آگے بڑھ کے بات کرتا ہوں۔ میرے نزدیک پاکستان میں محض اسی نظام کے تحت انتخابات کا بار بار کروانا، یہ سوائے اسی کرپٹ اشرافیہ کو لانے کے اور کچھ نہیں نتیجہ دے گی۔ اب انتخابات سے قبل اگر ہم سچی ڈیموکریسی چاہتے ہیں، ایک پائیدار جمہوریت چاہتے ہیں اور عوامی شراکت چاہتے ہیں پاکستان کی ڈیموکریسی میں، جمہوریت میں، تو ضروری ہے کہ اس سے پہلے احتساب ہونا چاہیے۔ آئین پاکستان کا آرٹیکل 62-63 اس کو جیسے افراد پر بھی لاگو کیا جائے اور نظام پہ بھی لاگو ہونا چاہیے، تاکہ اس نظام سے گند نکلے اور تطہیر ہو۔ احتساب ہونا چاہیے کڑا، اکاؤنٹیبلٹی، اس کے بعد پورے انسٹیٹیوشن کی ری اسٹرکچرنگ ہونی چاہیے تاکہ ان بلڈ سسٹم آف اکاؤنٹیبلٹی انسٹیٹیوشن میں پیدا ہو اور انسٹیٹیوشنز کو مضبوطی ملے۔ پھر ڈیموکریٹک ریفارمز کی ضرورت ہے، جمہوری اصلاحات چاہیے تاکہ اچھے کردار کے لوگ، سفید پوش لوگ پاکستان کے اقتدار میں اور جمہوریت میں شریک ہونے کے قابل ہو سکیں۔ احتساب اور اصلاحات کے بعد اگر انتخابات ہوں گے تو وہ اس ملک کو صحیح جمہوریت دے سکتے ہیں، ورنہ یہ ایک سائیکل ہے اسی خرابی کا، اسی بدی کا، اسی میں ہم گھومتے رہیں گے، کبھی نجات نہیں پائیں گے۔ شکریہ۔
ایک آخری سوال ہے کشمیر کے حوالے سے صرف پوچھنا ہے کہ صرف اتنا بتا دیں کہ جو موجودہ حالات جا رہے ہیں اس میں کشمیر کا بہترین حل کیا ہے؟
دیکھو کشمیر کا بہترین حل 2 چیزوں پر مبنی ہے، وہاں کے لوگوں کی، عوام کی خواہش کے مطابق، اور UN کی قراردادیں پینڈنگ پڑی ہیں، وہ انفلفلڈ ایجنڈا، اس کے مطابق فیصلہ ہونا چاہیے۔ بس السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ۔
فرانچائز کے حصول کے لیے